The final 2 hours pushing lower even as we speak, through to some support from this morning. Anyways, NASDAQ 0.8 leading to the downside. The Dow remaining positive, but only just there, 0.1 right now for the Dow, trying to hold on to positive territory. It's worth mentioning some of the small caps, the Russell 2000 specifically, still in positive territory as well. TSX here in Toronto benefiting from a move in oil today, back to the upside, 0.6%. Crude, you can see 1.8, 3.25 there for Bitcoin. Back to the downside, 0.9 for Ethereum as well in negative territory. We were wondering right out of the gate this morning, if you joined us in the pre-market, if this was going to be a wait and see kind of day, and it turns out it's been pretty choppy, back and forth all day long, kind of stuck in a range for the S&P ahead of what is to come. What a week ahead, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The biggest of the biggest earnings. We'll get the Fed obviously on Wednesday. I just checked, it's still 75-25 in favor of a 75 basis point hike coming on Wednesday. Typically, as we get closer to the event, it does actually go up. So we'll see how that progresses. Here's the energy group. As I mentioned, 6% for 6.5% for FANG, Apache, MRO, to name a few there, with oil up. Not big time, but 1.8%. Nice move for oil so far today. Banks also showing some strength. The individual names bouncing back nicely after a very weak end to last week. 12.5% downside for Newmont today off of earnings. CF Mosaic, though, offsetting that back in positive territory. But that's the lay of the land. And I say that because it's 50-50, 0.13 here for the S&P right now. Consumer discretionary is lower, tech all lower for the most part, led by some of the software names. So a day maybe not to push the gas pedal too hard unless you have a really good setup on an individual name, as the market overall is flat. One of the things we have to understand heading into specifically the afternoon session is to not try too hard, because you can get chopped up a little bit. Doesn't mean there isn't opportunities. Hope your day is going well. Hope your afternoon's well. Welcome back in. We'll jump into what we were talking about this morning to lead things off. A ton of opportunities in individual names. Sean is going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Hey guys, it's Trade of the Day, and you've asked for this, so I'm going to do it again. One in. Let's just find a trade that works or doesn't work, why it works, why I took it, and let's move on from that. And today's Trade of the Day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Click that little QR code to find out more. Here's AMC right here. So look, what we're looking at is just levels, right? When we talk about levels, you have to go back and say, if this happens, then what, right? And so today, early on, we identified, and it's been for a while, we've been waiting for this 1480, and it's actually going to crack right here on the show. We have no positions right now. We are flat on AMC, but we were looking at this area, and we've sort of highlighted it right here. It's between 15 and 1480, right? And so we said to ourselves, if this comes down to that $15 level, we thought that there could possibly be a bounce in AMC. So what we did was very, very quietly, we just snuck a bid down here, right at like 1510 or 1508. I don't remember exactly what it was, but ahead of 15. So when the market opened up here at 1550, and I steal this from one of our viewers, they say, don't trade stocks in the middle of the range, right? And so when you see up here, and you're going to see $15, there's really nothing, sorry, $15.50, there's really nothing in here that tells me to go long at that level. I don't like playing this pre-market level to get in or out of. I use it for support and resistance once the market's opened up and can find a way. And that's what you're going to see right now, where we wind up getting out there on that pre-market level. So it's very, very simple. It's a one trade, right? So it comes back in, we sit there with our full default, well, you know, a reasonable default, comes back down, fills us right there at 15, and then look, it ticks back down below, but it doesn't test that 1480. It actually just goes, this blue line is 15, goes to about 1490, okay? We didn't average in, remember, we just want one trade. If it goes against us, it goes against us. It's fine. Comes it right back up to the upside, because we're not gonna get out on a 15 break. We're not taking this for 10 cents. We're taking it for more, as much as we can. So boom, comes back in. The very first outs start to be for 10 cents, 15 cents, then it blows back up to the upside. And then when we get to that 1540 or so, we're like, okay, now we are at those pre-market levels, right? Now we're right here to where we could start to get out. So that's exactly what we do. And we wind up getting out. There's probably like 4 or 5 outs here. As it breaks lower, we get out again. And we're using the 50 period. We're using some of our levels to be concerned with. So in at 15 or so, out on the upside, and then we do hold. We hold about that 20 or 30% in case AMC moons. I mean, that's what we're here for. We wanted to get going to the upside, but that never happens, so we wind up getting out on a 15 or whatever, that basically a flat trade right there, and we don't do anything now that it's in this range. Now that I see this, trade number 2 possibly coming on right here, you could go long right now into this level, because that's 1480, and if you look back here, 1480 is held. The only difference right now is, and I have the NASDAQ up here, this, and I know AMC is not a NASDAQ name, but you can see the move down here in the NASDAQ. So for me, I think you got to watch this 50 period right now. Just it's starting to angle down. You're well below VWAP. That has really leveled off there at 15. Plus, I took the family to go see a movie this weekend. So that's sort of what got me thinking. The movie theaters were actually pretty busy. So when I came in today, I said, you know what? If I can find a long in AMC, and again, going to one here in Toronto, it doesn't really matter that much. It's not even an AMC. But it just got me thinking, where are the key levels? We found one here, we hit it, and it was one trade. So those of you that are just looking for that one idea, the best suggestion is look at a stock that you know has a chance to get going and find some levels that you can play off of. Because you know what? If it doesn't work out, then you're in and you're out. The damage isn't that much, but you can make your day when it does work. So AMC, another one here to look at. And I feel like as long as it's moving like this, we have Redbox as well. We're going to have AMC moving around. We had the GameStop split. There's just lots happening that really aren't earnings based. It's just stock based. So let some of those earnings plays settle down. If you can find a name that you've traded before and that you trust, look for the levels, hit it, and quit it.
So important to have a plan, even if that plan involves just one trade, which is a great and valid idea, obviously. Understand that even the direction can change and go in the opposite direction. Nothing too exciting happening right now for AMC. Let's talk a little bit about everything else that was on watch this morning, because there was a ton on the watch list this morning. Make sure you grab that every single day. We send it out before we come on at 8:30, guys, for free. One of those was one of the biggest movers to the downside on Friday, back in negative territory in the pre-market this morning when we came on, and that was Snapchat. 12, count them 12 that I saw anyways, analysts with negative views on Snap off of that disaster of an earnings report and no guidance whatsoever on Friday. The market, I'm just hearing in my ear, still, pushing back towards day lows here as well, guys. So here we go, back to the downside, including with Snapchat.
Who's in your ear?
All I hear in my ear is Brendan. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's who's in my
he must be listening to a market recap.
It's
there,
Fahad crying in his ear. That's what it is.
Why would Fahad be crying exactly? Oh, because of bowling? Nah. Fahad's all good, man. I mean, look, some of those scores, I mean, let's, but
only one
if
person.
I was Lucas and I was like, I bowl, and I threw down a 99, I would just bowl myself down there, let my head hit the pins, because, a 99, honestly, you could granny bowl that. But shout out to Lucas. I'm just playing around. That was a really fun time.
He beat the score that he had to beat. And Snapchat beat me today because I put my stop, but the only thing good about my stop is that it ended up being the high. Which sometimes, I said this before, like if your stop ends up being like a top or a bottom wick, well then something about the process is certainly right. It just didn't mean the trade worked out. But it's actually managed to hold up in exactly the range I thought it would break away from. Like 990 has been support all day long. That's where we're shorting in front of, and our stop was literally off of this 1015 area right at the top. And that's exactly what we have for a high. It's just going sideways. If anything, this is a stock that has a chance to maybe have made a bit of a bottom in the morning and then maybe break out of this consolidation. Just to put things into perspective where it's come from, when I say break out, it wouldn't have to do much to make a decent sized move. Like since the earnings play, it's still $1 from where we were sitting at the open on Friday, right? So that's a good 10% away, unfortunately, for Snapchat shareholders. But if you look at what's happened, it tried to break the low at the open, never happened, and you're just going sideways for Snapchat. So maybe too much selling has happened at this point, and it just needs to consolidate a little bit. But I can't see a 990 range to 1010 for too much longer. It could do that today, but I can't see it still there tomorrow.
Sega going ham, people talking about right now. I mean, I was really waiting for, okay, here we go.
Oh, it is.
I was going to say, I was waiting
Finally.
for that $16 break. So here we go. Thank you for pointing that out one more time here about Sega. But yeah, we still are. I'm just going to get my stop in, or my break in. I want to take it if it does break long here on Sega. So it's already at this 15 level. Sorry. pardon me, 16 level is one we're looking at right now on that SIGA. I just want to try it. Who knows if it's going to work or not? I mean, we have VWAP down here at 15 flat. You have the 50 period right there. Just starting to coil up, looking for that afternoon run here in SIGA as it is monkeypox time. You are just above right here. I shouldn't say it's monkeypox time. It's monkeypox stock time. Right there, 1550. It looks like once we broke that, some volume started to come in. So yeah, 1550, a good little level there for monkeypox. But okay, Snapchat. The same thing, man. I mean, this was it was the #1 name here on the sticky note, shorting through $10. We've done that, been there, done that, you know, and now we'll just move on from this name. I have a very, very small piece waiting for it to break one way or the other. I'm hoping it breaks obviously down, but it's really just pass. I'm going to do a hard pass on this until, look, we're up on it today, but it's going to be a hard pass until we finally get some movement on this name. Either something comes out about Snapchat that, you know, we like or don't like, but for right now, it's just pretty quiet off that big move from earnings. So there's just so much more happening that I think it's an ignore for now on Snapchat.
I was just having a look at SIGA, SIGA just popping up on volume here. Back towards 15.5, 16, so key area obviously for that one. Let's talk about AMD, NVIDIA, INTC, all with positive moves in the pre-market this morning. Intel had its own news, ended up being a bit of a non-event though, as far as this manufacturing deal is concerned with that company from Taiwan. But I mean, the group itself showing a little bit of strength here this afternoon, guys, with the market kind of leaking off.
So two things. I'll get to those in a quick second, but I just wanted to update because GovX is another one of those monkeypox stocks that just boomed to the upside. I've been in the breakout. We talked about the breakout this morning off that 130. So we did get that break just after we left you guys. It made that breakout, and I've been holding on to a piece of it. I just took some out in front of the high of the day, but I took the dip. I like that 1550 on SIGA. I've been waiting for it to either test lower off support because I stopped out of this long here, which was ridiculous. Other wanted the 14 long, didn't get it, or wanted it to hold VWAP and start breaking out. It's now breaking out from 15 even, so I'm going to see if we can't get a shot to run this toward the high of the day. But I'm in this and GovX. As far as the chips go, this will be a frustrating one for me because, you know, I went to look at Intel for shorts this morning, and then completely ignored Micron. So I was like, oh man, I got to find a short. I wasn't even in Micron until it was all the way breaking that 60 level, and that was pretty much at the bottom. So I just felt like there was going to be a chance after it rolled over that maybe we'd be able to get into one of these. I wished it was Intel. I shorted Micron off of this, what I think is a pretty significant level. You pop to the 15-minute, and then you can see, like, it's this key 60, which is held for the last week, broke down earlier on in the day, but it was so late in the move in the morning that it didn't give you much more than like 20, 25 pennies or so. And then when it came up for the reload, it just kept stopping out when I tried to get back in. Ends up resisting 61, which does give us a few setups for this afternoon. The 61 level, reestablishing below 60 as well, 60.5 for VWAP. So I do still like the short in Micron, which is disappointing that I didn't look at this until well after the move had already come into the downside too far.
Friday? What? I don't know. I'm trying to ask when Justin's on. He said the word Friday. What day is today? Monday? Okay.
Last I checked.
What?
The newsletter. He's talking about the newsletter.
Yeah, I know, but I thought he's coming on. Yeah. Okay, you can come on, Justin. Come on right now. We'll talk about the newsletter whenever you want. Okay, so there it is. Yeah, AMD. I mean, we didn't talk too much about AMD today, other than I loved that 85 level. I mean, this is just one of those things where I'm going to show you the sticky note, and then I'm going to want to bang my head against the ground again because, I mean, this is like, really? Dip down to 85? You know, so let's just see what happened here on AMD today. What's the low of the day? 85.10? So yeah, that sucks. Obviously, we nailed this one right. I mean, we couldn't have nailed it any better, to be honest with you. We talked about 85 long. There it is right there. We just weren't paying attention. It should have been in my account for sure. The show was still on. Absolutely no excuse not to have this one. We nailed this like it was an amazing one. He shoots you scores on that. I hope some of you were watching. We love to trade the chip names here, and definitely a missed opportunity as we hammered that 85. It's embarrassing that I should be long this name, but I'm not. So 85, we don't have it. But for me, AMD, you just got to sort of look out for those levels. It's going to keep on bouncing around as much as it wants to here. But there's 85. We talked about that. And I said that's kind of where this rally started. It actually started down here at 84 on that break, but definitely a dip down into 85. And it just sucks because, you know, here I am. I mean, sure, I'm in Snap, Microsoft, Apple, they're all winning. But like AMD really, you know, that's just a missed opportunity. We'll try not to ignore that. Even if the market's coming in, you know, we got to take some of those fills because we do the work and we put them on this sticky note and then we don't take it, right? So missed opportunity with AMD. The chip spill is going to get solved. It's going to be figured out. And honestly, I don't even really care about that. Wait, you know, it's going to be earnings. We're going to be in a new cycle here. And I just feel like AMD is one of those names that you're going to want to own. I just, you know, at these levels, 85, it's good for a day trade. But if this market's in trouble, we could come down a lot more. I mean, this daily range here, you're below the 50 period. This is why I'm not super excited about it. You know, I feel like a couple bad reports coming from Google and Microsoft and Apple and even AMD or NVIDIA themselves is not, you know, these stocks aren't going to hold up. They've already tested lower. It's well off the highs now of $100, kind of like where we were thinking about we could get back. You know, you just dipped down into 70. Like this move down in 2 weeks was 110 in 2 weeks down to 70. So you're talking about like getting hit there 25, 30% in about a month worth of trading. So, you know, AMD is going to be a slippery slope. Let's just hope that we can catch it on up days like we should have today, long that 85.
Just having a look at Coke. I guess a whole market breaking downside, but just saw this. KO popped up on volume there. Not that KO, but this KO. Still positive on the day, 0.7, but another one set to report Tuesday. Coke coming, but a nice day anyways for Coke. Tesla, guys, I mentioned it right off the bat, but Tesla back on watch this morning. Elon getting yet another subpoena from the SEC. Doesn't seem to matter, though. Everyone's still liking Tesla once again.
Yeah, and look, Tesla was so strong last week. Let's get that one out of the way. Like I came in today wanting the long to be the play. And obviously, you know, did some heavy lifting. Tesla did on Thursday, holding the market up and eventually bringing it up with it. And then on Friday, it was trying its best in the morning and still gave you some good long opportunities before falling over. So I came in, really wanted it to be about supporting that 810 level and then bouncing higher and then doing what we were doing last week, which is just sort of take the breaks, take the consolidations and rinse and repeat on a trend to the upside. That's just not what happened. And you can't. There's what you want to happen, and then there's what does happen. So Thursday's resistance at 820. At the end of the day on Friday, where we closed at 820, once we were in a red market, it was just accept that reality. 820 went back to being a key level, short of the 820. That's the only trade I had. The only thing I wish is that I was still in the stock. It's still, you know, sort of trending back in with the market at those lows. I elected for the scalp trade, you know, 820. And then getting it out a couple of times. I guess I'll go to the 3-minute. Someone asked in the chat, like, what charts do we use? I use a 3, 15, and a daily. That's all I'm going to be end up showing you. So in the smaller time frame, here's the 3-minute, allowing it to reject 820, and then just sort of scalping a couple of times into 815, and then eventually getting it out on a trail at 810. So that was the only trade I had in Tesla. It should have been something that we got into more. I thought we'd get another chance to maybe retest on strength, bouncing. But it's now at the low of the day with much of everything else sitting at those lows. So even getting pops in Tesla may not come to the level I like. 815 could be something in the afternoon. But a big reversal after Tesla was so strong last week.
Big week for tech, or doing Tesla. I haven't traded Tesla yet today, but we did talk about some of those levels. I sold some Tesla last week in my own account. Again, I like the name. It's just trying to raise some capital for this week. I just thought it was a great play. And also Netflix was another one that I was debating raising capital on. But for right now, we are getting a little bit out here on Microsoft, as we'll talk about the next one. Let's just go over to Brett if you want to review big week for tech earnings, because I'm about to talk about them all.
I was just going to mention Rivian, guys, was pushing down there as well. Don't see anything new, but Rivian just popping up on volume as well, back to the downside. But pretty good day anyways for Rivian. Did get a bit of a flush off the open, but we're back above 32. Yeah, big week, the biggest week, in fact, for earnings. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, get ready, because we're getting all of them. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, all coming this week.
Right. So, yeah, that's And look, I'm thinking a little negatively there about some of these names. So Microsoft, we just went one in. It was a great trade off of 258 there. Ran this up to 259, 259.50, able to do it again. Now, no. So right now we got the 258 again. You know, some of these takes are good, man. $1, $1.50, like, you know, so we got some good wins now, but you can see right here, we tried it again right now at 258.10. Was able to get some decent outs here, 40s, 30s, so we made some 20 or 30 cents. Now we just get it out at 258 flat, and we're holding a small piece left. We're about to get out if it takes down this bottom, which let me just make sure my script is in there. Yes, it is. Yeah, a breakthrough 80s, and we're going to get out of this one as Microsoft coming back in right now. Just trying to test it. It's now down the same as the market, so as long as we're below the 50 period here, we don't need to be long in any of these tech names, so we'll test it out. Still a very, actually, well, Apple will be my negative stock, or sorry, my number one stock on the day, but it is followed very closely by Microsoft. So more to come on that one. Apple, so we're in a meeting that went way too long, but it doesn't matter. I had my out here at 154 anyways, so I did get stopped out at 154, but lesson learned here on Apple short. It only went to 154.08. I should have, if I was going to use 154, I did this on purpose because I did have, you know, I mean, I had good shares there. So it was like, I just didn't really want to miss it. I felt pretty confident on that 154 level. But again, to get out right on the dot there on a 154 break, it's not normally my MO. So I think I did that knowing that we would be going into the meeting. But it doesn't really matter. I'm still up. Even after this trade, it was still up. We didn't hold a whole lot. It was just that second reload. And then I came back literally, you know, like an hour later and saw where we were on Apple and was like, I still want to grab this short. So we waited pretty patiently there, let it kind of barcode. The minute we hung around the 50 period and volume weighted average price here, we were like, let's go. Let's just take this short again. So now we're in a nice little 50-cent winner. We have the shares on for Apple. And for me, we went long early, took big advantage of that one. That's a really great trade. Then look at this. Short. Like this is in my opinion anyways, we have this tick there. I probably would have had it regardless if I was sitting here. I might have canceled it based on what the futures were doing, but I wasn't here. So that's an out. But this is how you want to trade. I mean, I honestly, like if you want NFT stuff, like go long, and then obviously the market comes back down. We don't long again because it's cranking lower. Then we take the short again, and then we should, you know, we re-shorted this name right now, riding that 50 period to the downside. So we always say have bias. Try to figure out which way the market's going to go and then stick with it. So for me on Apple, I think I'm going to be going short until the 28th. So that's Thursday when they report. But I think they report, I'm not even here Friday, so I think they report Thursday night. So unfortunately, I won't be able to trade the earnings live for you guys. But, you know, that's what I'm thinking. Let's wait to see what Apple comes through with. It's been such a monster run for this name that I just think if people want to raise capital like I did on Tesla, I was even debating selling my Apple, but you know, the last time I did that was in the 130s or 137 or something like that. The first time through, like you're talking about a hell of a long time ago, and then it's ripped up and I felt bad for doing it. So right now, Apple's gonna be the name that I'm probably gonna hold on to, but I could definitely see profit taking into their earnings report.
Yeah, very quickly, we'll get right back to big tech because there's plenty to still talk about. But high of the day on GovX, it just broke that top at 150, climbing to 155. So the break is still on in this monkeypox name. I keep wanting to say stocks, but then it messes me up. So 160 on the daily chart. I think this is going to be a solid level. That's why I took some more shares out there. And then the same thing, Sega as well is making a move. Obviously, I'm in a meta short. And we talk about, I think Sean was just saying bias. If you have a bias, like sometimes you just want to stick to it. Like I came in today and was like, you know, I like this 170 level on Meta. And I'll show you on the 15-minute chart, maybe the easiest way to demonstrate that. Like this, I love the 170. It was a Friday afternoon when everything was selling off. You had resistance from noon until the end of the day at 170 on Meta. And then right at the open, you had the pre-market high at 170. I opened up, shorting it multiple times. And then when it started to break out, I'm like, oh, maybe we can be in a breakout trade. I want something which is potentially breaking out. And so I go into a long trade, and the second I do that, I get away from shorting it. And, you know, you win twice in the short, you lose on the long. That's fine, that's all well and good, except for the fact that now I'm not in the short anymore, and I was missing every single reload chance. And then on top of that, When it finally breaks the 166 support, now I'm just shorting off of the bottom, which is the previous support at 166 on Meta. They have yet to report. Obviously, with what happened with Snapchat, the entire group of I guess group is under pressure, and no different here for Meta, down that 2%. But I'm shorting off this 166 level now for the afternoon show. And the other tech name that I'm short is Alibaba, which is, if you watched last week, is not much of a surprise. The surprise could be the price at which we're doing it, because it tried to break down, had the short 99, gave that about 25, 30 cents, and then we're right back off the morning range highs, 101, lower highs, and we're short off of this right now. Baba actually showing some relative strength, but I kind of feel until we start climbing back and making like 2 days in a row holding a big support level on Baba, I'm going to stay with the short side of the trade. But this 101 going to come under test here for me. Those are two shorts I have. I still have AMC in front of that 1480 that hasn't really stopped out yet. And going to be looking for some opportunities, rinse and repeating some of these monkeypox stocks names. Because I think Sega, as much as it had a nice little break, I still think it has a good chance to get to that high of the day. The fact that it really was selling off pretty heavily there at the open, and then just managed to make a hard bottom off of $14 and then a higher low. The volume starts to come in the afternoon. This one is set up, like we've sort of been saying, like we get back through that 16 on the daily chart. Not even a bad trend. It's very volatile, but not a bad trend that the stock has going forward as well. And then you can be breaking to the 17. And the other one is more of a dead cat, not a dead cat bounce, is this TBLT, Tough Built, sitting in this one. I think Luca was talking about this. Maybe he was looking at the short side of the trade. I just see that this consolidation from 560 up to 620, I've actually bought at both those prices for a blend of about 6, and just looking for this to break after just going sideways all morning. They had the offering. Sometimes you make a higher low off the offering and volume can come in. I got my stop set below 560. And then if it breaks out, I really don't want to get out if it breaks out that 620 and starts squeezing again here on TBLT.
All right, real quickly here. We're going to have Justin come on, talk about the opening bell. That's going to be really interesting to come on to. I have something more interesting to discuss with him once he comes on, so you guys will all see that very, very soon. Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, just quickly here. Microsoft got dropped out, which is fine, man. I mean, we got out of it. We are now out of the way on Microsoft. Look what else is happening. Apple's starting to come back in, so that's going to be yes, sir, as the market getting redder here on the way to the downside. Redder? So, again, into earnings, we'll hold that. I did want to, I mean, maybe this is a mistake right now. Well, AMD's still higher, so this is what I wanted to go for right now was going to be advanced micro. So the markets come in. We just got out of Microsoft. Apple's coming down to the downside, okay? Snapchat, forget about it. So we won't worry about Snapchat. But look at AMD right now. Why is AMD starting to go back up? We talked about the chip spill. It's not Frito-Lay's. This is the semis. Let's see what happens here. Breaking above 87. I think you got a big breakout potential here on AMD. But don't be fooled. We've already hit this high one time already today, 87.30. So I do not want to play the breakout of 87. I'm thinking that, hey, right now it's on one, right? So that's fine. The stock can do whatever it wants. But any kind of a pullback, like when I saw Microsoft and the market come down here, I went right over to my AMD because I'm bidding 86.60, and I was like, I don't want this in anymore because the market's fading out right here. You can see what the NASDAQ's doing. We're starting to obviously make lower highs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just cherry picking. It's pretty obvious. 6, 7. So all starting to go down. The 50 period is definitely turned over right now, and you're starting to make a move down. So NASDAQ for sure telling me we want to go short. But AMD right now, I feel like it's trying to hold up okay, and I do want to test this 86.40 bottom. So I want to test that. So I will be long in front of this name, in front of that level on this name here, AMD. If we can get anything near this 50 period, it's like I want to test it, man. I mean, and if we get run over, honestly, I mean, first of all, we have to define what run over means, right? Like hit the fail button, because we already have an out. And I think that's the one thing that if you're watching the show, you definitely appreciate that. You got to have your ins, which I do now, but you also have to have your outs. It's just like this Microsoft trade, right? Like, look at this. We get out there at 58. Well, now you're starting to go down lower. Look what happened to Meta today, right? We like the long. I know Neil's in it right now, but we like the long. This could have been absolutely disastrous, but as soon as it breaks, we get out, saving ourselves the headache of wondering what to do about it, right? So, I'm feeling like AMD is definitely a name that right here, see, now it's just going up. I might just have to get long now, but then it's not going to be any real amount of shares. Like, I don't want to me, this is just, I'm running into something. I don't want to get it.
87 looks tricky, man.
That's the 87 has too much.
I just want a short micro again.
Yeah, Mike, maybe I just don't want to go, like, I don't know why it's holding up right now. So, like, this is 87 here, 87.30. This is why I don't think the long right now is right. But if I got a piece down here and then use this like as 30 or 40, the problem is if I get in now, where do I get out? And that's the problem. It'll be too big of a hit if I'm wrong. So let's just hope that this can, it's never good when you're hoping about trades, but I'm not in. So let's hope that it comes down, hits this 50 period, we're able to get in, and then if we're wrong, then we can use this as our out, not even view up. I want to use this little level right there, 86.40 or so as our out. So let's hope to get that. But you guys are going to be in for a treat very, very soon here because we have two of the most handsome individuals that are involved with Trader TV Live right here. But we have two other guys involved right now at the big desk. So let's go over to Brendan and Justin.
Hi. Justin and I are just chit-chatting. Justin Kozach is here, Day Trade the World marketing guy. He's going to talk us through a few things. We were just actually talking about that Foo Fighters book and Dave Grohl's new book and how fascinating of a human being he is. And I was just saying to Justin, somebody mentioned to him on Twitter that the audiobook is an amazing experience simply because it's him actually reading it. It's Dave Grohl actually reading it. So an entirely different experience than reading it yourself. But how are you?
I am great.
I love your hair.
Thank you. I was saying to a couple of people today, I woke up at Tuesday morning at 8:30. I have a thing with 8:30. And it was 3,000 degrees. And I'm like, you know what? I've done the long hair thing for long enough. It's time to go short. And boy, did we ever go short. So
looks good on you.
Thank you. So feeling much cooler, 10 degrees cooler, 15 pounds lighter. So looking forward to not having to wait 3 or 4 hours for my hair to dry. So,
talk to me about Facebook here. A couple of interesting, I guess, kind of stories in the background today, but worth mentioning because it's always good to keep up on what's happening. A few ideas in the music side of things for Facebook.
Right. So Facebook announcing today that creators can now use licensed music in their videos and they can earn money at the same time. So there's a little bit of a rev share going on there. Using licensed music in videos has been, you know, the bane of copyright since Metallica freaked out about Napster. So if you want to, now I've really dated myself. Yeah, I've really dated myself with that one. So they get, creators can now get a 20% rev share on any videos that use licensed music. They have a list of different artists. I can't remember the top off the top of my head, but I believe Post Malone was one of them, for anybody who listens to Post Malone. So that's kind of an interesting one. Will be interesting to see how some of the other networks or other platforms like Twitch and so on, other live streaming platforms kind of adapt to this new model.
I guess it's, you know, with the Spotifys of the world these days, they're kind of forced into this almost in the sense that if they want to have these artists to participate, that's the easiest way to do it is just to cut them in.
Right. I feel like this is going to be the next evolution of, you know, traditional media platforms getting dragged kicking and screaming into the whatever century we're in, 21st century. So, you know, we'll see how that all goes, but should be pretty interesting. So
yeah, interesting story this morning. I read this and kind of thought, why isn't this a thing already? The NFL announcing today that they're going to kick off their own streaming service. And it will only, Justin, cost you $4.99 a month.
Right.
Seems low.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap, actually. I thought it was going to be a lot more, $39.99 a year. So certainly much cheaper than the NHL, which charges a couple $100s a year for NHL TV. And I like the little kickoff thing, too. That was great. Certainly hoping to score a touchdown with this one. Looks like it's pretty interesting, but it's kind of weird that they went with their own. They have I think they have this deal with Amazon. What is it, Tuesday? Is it Wednesday night? I don't watch football, admittedly, so I don't know if it's, what is it,
I think
Wednesday night football?
I know we do have two guys who are diehards.
What's the thing
Amazon
that
and the NFL guys. What day?
What day is it?
Thursday night. Thursday night.
Thursday.
It's Thursday. So apparently Amazon has the rights to Thursday night football, and you can actually stream it on other platforms like Twitch, for example, which is owned by Amazon, and do kind of a live reaction video to it. So now that they're launching their own platform, will be interesting to see how they're using Amazon, if they're going to go with their own thing. So, but hey, $39.90 a year is super amazing. I mean, I don't watch football, but I might spend the $40 a year to to watch a bunch of people run around and try to kill each other.
I have a feeling this might not stay $4.99 after
No.
the amount of success they're going to have with it the first year. But there was rumblings, if you remember, way back at the beginning of this year. You know, they were talking to Netflix, they were talking to Amazon further about, you know, getting a deal done as far as the broadcast rights were concerned. And I thought at that time, you know, why don't they just do it themselves? They have all the money in the world. But anyways, what else you got?
So yeah, the other thing that I wanted to talk about with Facebook was they were shutting down Tuned. Apparently it's a social media app for couples. Apparently they had launched this thing at the beginning of the pandemic to help couples connect more together during the pandemic, which doesn't really make sense because I guess they would be living together. I don't know. Sort of a weird thing, but it was part of this kind of skunkworks development kind of track that they have within the organization where they develop apps to see if there's a good market fit for different features that they could potentially roll out into, you know, Facebook app or onto the website or a combination of the two. So kind of a neat idea. But you know, I think a lot of companies have this kind of thing where they they do little projects and see if it works, and if they can get mass adoption and there's enough popularity behind it, and there's certainly enough viability from a money perspective, they'll launch it publicly. So, yeah.
Facebook or Meta, I guess,
Whatever they're called now.
in a weird spot right now. It seems not really knowing which direction they want to go in fully, but as you said, testing a whole bunch of different ideas to see what floats.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Justin Kozach, Day Trade the World marketing guy. Appreciate the time as always.
My pleasure.
Now we get to decide who's got the better haircut there. You got a bit of a battle going there, Brendo. Justin looking rather sharp. I see people in the chat saying you might get the NFL channel, like the NFL Network.
Yeah. It's. I think it was a little misreporting here, not by our guys, just by what they were talking about there. It's not NFL games or anything like that. It's the NFL Network. I already subscribed. I think it's $1 more a month to add there. So it does go against sort of the NHL, like you were saying. MLB is more expensive, so is NHL, because NFL Network is really just it's like an ESPN.
Yeah, you get all.
I don't know if you see.
You get all the shows.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't actually have live
there's no
games.
games.
Yeah.
I said, that's what. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, I can cancel my DAZN, like DAZN. Like I just cancel that right away because I usually watch the NFL on that to be able to watch multiple games. But yeah, if that's not the case, then there's diehard fans. I'm sure it'll still be.
I mean, I watch the channel. It's a good pregame. There's good,
I watch it sometimes if I'm doing a workout Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what am I going to put on the screen while I'm doing a workout Sunday morning? Well, hey, I can get the previews. I'll go over like the lines and fantasy stuff. Try to know who's playing and who's not, because you know what that's like, right? You want to make sure your lineup is set. Otherwise, people in your league are going to hate on you. What's going on in the market, however, is we got down to the bottoms. That's good for some of the shorts, but the second that happened, we caught a bit of a bid. I'll go over SIGA in a second, but Meta here, we're short at 166. It came down to 166.50, 165.50s, I should say, and looks like it's grinding right back up. So I'll rinse and repeat at 166. BABA, the other short that I'm in, that didn't give as much of a downward move. Like it pulled back, came down into 150. I'm sitting down in the 40s. I wanted to break this range before I get out, but that hasn't done that. It's still consolidating off those highs in Alibaba, so really didn't get an exit with that one. I took some more shares of SIGA out as that continues to grind higher. So those monkeypox names still showing strength. This is on the way to that $16 move, right? So it broke out 1550. That's this level here that I took the ridiculous stop out on. Look at that, like break-even stop. And I even said I'm going to put a break-even stop in, and then it's just why. I should have been holding it at least down into that 1420, just giving it some room to work. But the 1550 gave a reload at that price, working hopefully all the way up to 16 even. And from there, I keep looking back to Tesla to see if it's doing much of anything. That bounce in the market didn't do much. So we're not seeing 800. We're not seeing 815, 820, kind of diddling in the middle with Tesla. But I want to keep my eye on this one because there are some levels it can get to that we'll like.
Yeah, here come the market back in. So we still have that Apple trade on right now. And then I did want to talk about a new position. Don't know if it's going to be for a while, but we did get into Roblox here. It's too bad because AMD is just marching, and it's like we don't have that long, and that's the one I liked into the long here. But we'll try Roblox again, up that 1% and off some of this bottom here. So I'm going to go for it. We're in it right now. We are sitting 50s. Okay, so sorry, not 50s is going to be is the level. Sorry, we're sitting at 76 right now to get a few more shares. So any sort of a dip down in, hopefully we could sit on the bid, get filled there, And then just try to use 39.50 as a stop area. I mean, we're below the 50 period right now. I'm not going to hold it all. I mean, we could hold it all the way to VWAP. It's just if this market's going to come back in, I think we'll do ourselves a favor and get out of it if it's going to be wrong. But it has worked to the upside. Remember, we were short early there when we broke through 39 and then we were able to get out. So Roblox right now down a cup of coffee, but hopefully trying to make that back right here on the long for Roblox. You know, wrong down there at 39, which is fine. I mean, we were right for what? 15 cents there. Then we got out, then we got out, then we got out ultimately when we broke a little bit above. So it's a few pennies down right now on Roblox, no problem. We'll try it again right now. If it drops back down, you know, we have our targets here and we have our outs. We'll still be riding that Apple short to hopefully the basement of that stock, but we'll wait to see. Another one that I liked, I wrote down, Amazon, okay, good. I wrote down Amazon maybe let's review this trade. Been on a tear lately from 114 last week. All I'm doing is reading my own sticky note right now. If we get back to 121, watch out for 120. So yeah, there's the 121 break that happened on well, it didn't really break, I guess. It's really just held as support. It's this last time that it broke was pretty good. Right here, it danced around a little bit at about 1120 before rejecting that 121 break. Perhaps it's not as weak as I thought it was today, going to be. It's only down that 1.4%. So it is outpacing the market. It's about double what the NASDAQ is down. This just seems like a slow grind, and now we're taking out the 50 period. So, hey, maybe the fact that, you know, it's tried to grind near that level, maybe there is something here to go long through 121 now. You're back upside, and you're still red. What's this market doing? It just broke back above. So, yeah, maybe Amazon long is right. I'm saying because I know I don't have AMD. And I mean, I was pennies away from just taking this trade, and it was like I thought it would come back in here. This is the level that I'm sitting at. I'm sitting in the 60s here, and there it is. We took it out. At least I was talking about it before we went to Justin there. I said like the long that I would want is AMD. It just for me, I didn't want to push it until it came down to the 50 period again. I feel like we missed that trade. I didn't want to go long there. It failed at it, like I said, it fails upside here at 87, which it can do right now. And then I don't, you know, because I'd be long now at 87, and then now it's 87.20, so what do I do? But you have that top there at 87.30, still hoping for a pullback in on AMD, but that ship, as they say, may have sailed. So we can look, I guess. I mean, I'm just assuming NVIDIA, Intel. I know you were looking at Micron. I think that might be.
But the crazy thing is I want to short Micron on a pop, and as AMD went upside and NVIDIA's climbing, like Micron didn't even move. Like it's just still sitting here at 60. And I shorted this price. When it's beneath 60, that's when it was working for shorts. And when on the way back up, when I tried like 20s and when I tried 40s, like these prices here, it didn't work out, and you had to wait for 61. So I'm kind of hoping it gets dragged up a little bit, but I don't believe in it for the long side of the trade. I'd just rather short it if it were to make any kind of a move higher. But as I say that, the market making some moves to the upside, so I reload on Meta, and then it tries to break out to the top there. I'm still sitting AMC off that 180.
You're short Meta.
14. No, I just got out. That one just got out. AMC just hit VWAP again. This time I'm going to reload in this stock. Like he keeps saying, yeah, if it gets to 1480, it's probably going to break it.
Did it bounce again?
It bounced again, gets to VWAP. It's like, I mean, the only trade might be, instead of looking for the push back to 1550 from this morning, the real play might just be that 15 to 20 cents and sort of like giving it that. But every time it gets here back into 15 even, it just sort of reverses here on AMC, unfortunately. But getting some moves to the upside there on AMC. The other one, I'm only looking at it because sometimes they move together, and it just so happens that as AMC is getting to VWAP, GameStop just put in a break of VWAP. You can see the candle right there on the 3-minute. It just broke 34, just broke VWAP, trying to get back to that big 35 level for now. I mean, not a lot of volume on that move. I kind of feel like it's like these aren't moving. Like today, it's been the monkeypox stocks, and then it's been that RDBX. Like those have been the ones that have truly been going and then following through. But you're getting a small move here in GameStop, maybe dragging AMC with it a little bit. BABA just broke 101, so it looks like I'm going to have to give up that short as well. Pretty decent bounce in the market. I'm just looking for names that are going to hold up for the short side of the trade. And when I see how weak, like this is why I keep coming back to Micron. Like we just made a low. All the other chip names just made a bounce, And this just didn't do anything. Like, to me, it has to be a short here somewhere, but I don't want to sit around waiting for 60 to break again. I want to almost sit in this. I might have to go off like the 50 level on like even a weak pop there, because I'm still pretty bearish overall. It's just a matter of where to find the shorts.
I need to get up and get a coffee soon, man. Okay, just quickly here. The reason why I asked you about Meta was because like I'm kind of glad you got out, because I was looking for the long. So just at least, we're both kind of scared about the upside there in this stock. I mean, this 1620, this is the level that I like right there. So it's got to break above 166.20. If it does, we're pushing long 100%. So this is what I want to try it again. It's going to be, it's like pretty much the only stock I'm red today, to be honest with you. I mean, we're red on Roblox. We'll talk about that. But, well, like I said, just a cup of coffee on that one. But this is really a red stock for me, Meta today. We're not, like, we're red what we made on Microsoft and on Apple. But you could see right here, this 166.20, if it can get going. Now the market's turned down, so forget about it. But if the NASDAQ continues its march higher and breaks above some of these levels, then I just believe Meta will follow it, and then we can get a great, I mean, look at Apple. Apple's just turning down right here. We got a nice win here for Apple. This is also not a horrible spot to go short again on Apple. You're below the 50 period. You're below VWAP right now. Like 152.80 now, like this is not a horrible spot for Apple. So I just wanted to bring that in for you one more time. We are not reloaded. We do have more positions here on Roblox, giving it to that bottom, which I don't even have. Do I have the stop order? I'm just looking now. I know we got to go to Brendan, but I don't. Just quickly here for you guys, it's going to be this 50 or 60 level right here. I'm going to get more exact, but let's go back to Brendan. I'm going to look at a few more time frames.
Speaking of relative weakness, was just looking through a list of relative strength, relative weakness. This one on the board coming, I believe it's after market tonight, might be tomorrow morning, but MCD, guys, down 1.7 ahead of earnings, just kind of dragging its feet along 249 here, having trouble with 250. Yeah, as the market pushes back towards day lows.
Yeah, I mean, not a great look, and certainly doesn't necessarily bode well for those earnings, at least what people think about it going into it.
The thing
right?
is, McDonald's is held up really well.
I
own it. So.
But that's the thing about a stock like that is people are probably looking for opportunities to take profit and protect themselves. For a stock that's held up, like you look at anything, like even like IBM, right? Like IBM had been doing so great, dividend play, and then a stable stock, which had been performing so well on the year, and then really it wasn't that bad of a report, and then it gets sold off. Like sometimes it's way more about what the stock has done going into earnings than anything else. But I'll show you two things, one good, one bad. GovX just got to 175. This is getting very close to this little chop area here, $1.85 to $2, where I think we're going to run into resistance. That's why I'm looking for an exit point to just get out of this altogether. Still have Sega. Sega could break the high of the day, but GovX goes the other way. And then Meta, like, give me a break. I got stopped out of Meta, now it's right back at the low. Like, so...
I told you, man, that stock is frustrating.
Forget
about Meta. Get it out of your brain.
It is very frustrating, to be sure. So, was that Brendan, sorry?
It was.
Oh.
TNG, Axe, little therapeutic company just popping up here on volume. Got orphan drug designation from the FDA just now, guys.
Which stock was that, sorry?
TNGX.
Oh, TNGX, okay. I was still looking at, I was thinking, I canceled, I knew there was something coming like that. I canceled my Sega bid there, but that was nothing to do with Sega. Just about McDonald's there, just quickly. Oh God, my daily's not gonna it's not gonna load up. But the point what I was gonna get at was, similar to what I did on Tesla, I feel like there are traders that are just exiting this stock just in case it's not a great report. Remember, they got, oh man, come on, like if I refresh this, will this chart refresh? Whatever, hold on, let me show you E-signal chart quickly here. When you're looking at this one, it hasn't held up great. I mean, the highs, everything in the market was up pretty high, but you were hovering around that 50 period right here on McDonald's before. So I just wonder if people are like, hey, are we gonna break 270? No, probably not on the report. So then downside, you look to see, are we testing some of these lows? McDonald's just 2 weeks ago or last week was at 246 with a nice run up there with the NASDAQ as well. So remember, they exited Russia and increased competition from just a lot of those delivery places and things like that. I just wonder if McDonald's can remain pretty good on the high side there. I was going to say, are they loving it? But that's kind of cheesy.
Why not?
I guess we can. They're not loving it. McDonald's right now to the downside.
I like it.
I like it too. I think it's going to be a good stock, and I like what we were just talking about right now. We did average into that Roblox. Remember, I'm giving this we almost got stopped, basically. I'm not even giving this to 50. If we break this 60, then I want to get out. I'm like, I want to remain being down relatively light on this stock. It's tough for me to go long, and this is, again, just the way I trade. Some people trade counter trend. I don't really like to do that. So right now I'm a little uncomfortable sitting in a long here. The only reason why I like it is because we have that level. You know, it's dropped off. I sort of thought that this one could carry us higher. I mean, we've always wanted to average in, but again, I think we have this pretty good. We could definitely afford to lose 20 cents, which is the plan of action right now. If it goes down 20 cents, fine. Our average price is 78. So to say that I want to get out at 40, I mean, I think it's going higher, but let's just give it a little bit of a chance here to do that. Roblox trying to work off that bottom, but I'm only giving it 10 more cents down, and then we'll be out of that. And maybe it's too early, maybe it's not, but we do want to get out of it. I know you've been sort of going back and forth with that Sega play. I really, just in the fact that you're buying the dips, I like this name down here. It's above here, and as soon as I say that, watch out for that 50 period. You still have that 1550 right there to come through on Sega, but it almost took down 16 and didn't. So, you know, that's going to be interesting if that does happen.
Before we go to Brendan,
sure, go ahead.
Just be careful, because that GovX, I just put a trail on GovX, and it also just sold a little bit in there through 170. I got trailed that I was looking for 185 to 2 when we're showing the higher time frame chart, and the second I said we're that close, I should just put a trail in, put my offer at like 85, and then this candle happened, same time Sega started to move a little bit to the downside. Brendan?
Yeah, market trying to hold day lows essentially. Crude, on the other hand, ended the pit session at day highs, literally at day highs. 2% here for crude oil, guys. So some of the energy names like XOM, 3% still. It's sitting right at day highs too.
Oxy is up 5% today. Like that's
I mean, XLE's up 4.5 or 3.5.
Like that's where your strength is going to be on a day like today. Why is my daily? Anyways, like Occidental, even like right now, it's actually still above its break from last week's high. Like that's how strong this has been. Like just chewing through levels to the upside. So that's the kind of day you're seeing in energy. You always want to look for that relative strength and weakness. As a day trader, you can go either direction. Maybe you don't care, but hey, let's just say you can only go long and you don't want to play those reverse ETFs. Then you just find the sector that's strong and go long it all day long. I mean, really, there was a couple of really good chances to get into Oxy. I think the lower hanging fruit would have been right around 11 o'clock. We came off air and it broke out the top and then gave you a slight consolidation, and then you get the second push to the upside. Sometimes that's what you have to wait for. That's what I waited for with Tesla for the short side of the trade. And every time I look at Meta, I'm just going to get more and more frustrated by this. Like, look, like, what are you doing, Meta? Like, seriously, like, it looked like it was going to hold. It breaks below 166. It can't go any lower than like 50, 65, 30 or so. Then looks like it's breaking back up when the futures hold their low, and then right back through the bottom. Thankfully, Alibaba, which was on the verge of running my stop, it gets right up to the open. Like this was where it was at the open, like 101.25. It gets right up to that price. I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, Meta just stopped me out. Bob is about to do the same thing. And no, and then it puts the turn on at that price. I actually wait for it to turn and then get a few more shares in on the way down instead of on the way up. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered what I did. So we'll see if this can actually come back into VWAP. We'll see. I mean, the market is trying to break the lows on the NASDAQ, at least I should say. When we say the market, hopefully we do a good job of specifying which one I'm talking about. So when I say we're looking like we have a chance to break some of these lows, it's just this morning bottom on the NASDAQ that I've been watching to see if that gets taken out. The ES is also at the low, but it's not as significant a bottom because you can go to Friday's low still holding up for the S&P 500. AMC got to VWAP, and if it's going to stall at VWAP every single time, like I'd be an idiot not to take something out and then start playing the reload. I'm going to start playing the scalp off of 80s here and just go rinse and repeat because it's rejecting that 15 even over and over again. That TNXP falls into the space of GovX and Sega, but this is the one that's got some strength. Like it's continuously making highs. Like as we just saw Sega and GovX pull off TNXP, this is the one that looks like it's the strong one. Of course, I'm long the other two.
Yeah. A little frustrating here. We are short. Obviously, we're short Apple. It's going to be a good play for us. But we do have a new position alert for those of you like wondering, hey, is there going to be new positions? Yeah. First of all, Roblox, we do lose that 20 cents. It did take it out there, so we will flush ourselves down the toilet. Now we're down 2 or 3 cups of coffee now, but believe me when I tell you, that's sort of my terminology for like NBD, but I do want to make sure that I do let you know that we are down on that. So just for an example, I'm down a third on what I'm up with Apple alone or Microsoft alone, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but the new position alert really was this one, AMD. So there we go, we're long at 95. We just take a dime right there, out at 04, so at 98 cents. Now we'll see if it can climb to the upside. We had to wait for a pullback. I really felt like FOMO into that trade because we did like it there. A little bit of a pullback. Now, I don't want to get out of this one, but I am realizing that I'm in a little bit too early with the amount of shares, so we do have to get a little bit out, although I don't want to get it all out because then if it rips up, then I'll even be more beside myself for not having this play. But again, into the chip bill vote. Hopefully we can get some little rally upside in this market right now. They're just watching to make sure Meta's might break 165 right now.
Oh, there it is.
To the downside. So, yeah, it's too bad because I really thought if the market went, I really liked that Meta long, but that didn't come in. So right now, I just wanted to review this quickly. Again, I'm going to wait here in the 70s, like right kind of where I thought we'd get the long in the first place. If it does come back, we'll average into this position. Until then, we're not going to do anything. We got to be patient with our trades. There's no point in rushing into here. We're still 5 minutes away from 3 o'clock. And then at 3 o'clock, you know, you have that last hour. Neil and I are prop traders, meaning that we have to be flat at the end of every single day. So I might not have any more. I mean, here we go. Let's just go. Just go back up to the upside. Let's go. There it is. Yes, that's a nice little out. So as we go 17 cents now in the money, hoping for more. Apple continuing its move. Whoops, there it is. Apple continuing its move to the downside here a little bit as well. So that could be something for me to be looking at here with Apple trying to come back in now, making those bottoms. If we can get that very bottom, I'm kind of holding on to this. I don't have as many shares. My real interest is in what AMD is doing. So I'm going to be looking here at this top of 87.30 to get another piece out and then a reload more. Because now that we get out on the way up, it's lightening the load so that if it does come back down in, we feel less scared to take more shares down here because it won't be like a day ender or anything like that if we do break that bottom. But that's trading for you, and you got to stick to your plan and be patient with it. So I am going to wait for AMD no matter what. If it rips up, I have a decent spot on, so I'm fine with it. But if it does come down, I'm going to be taking more shares at 86.70 if you want to put your orders out.
Yeah, and Micron did finally break that 60, so I did get into position there. You'll see it. I got 98s when it broke that 60. Waited for that or for it to maybe test up and get to VWAP. That didn't happen. A couple of questions in the chat. Someone asked what a prop trader is. So proprietary trader is just someone who trades a firm's capital and then gets a cut of that. So Day Trade the World is the firm. We trade the firm's capital, individual buying power each trader. You have your own set daily risk limits, and then you get a percentage of your trades. As opposed to retail, where you're sort of trading your own money. You can get leverage on the retail side, but here we are trading that firm's capital and keep a percentage of it. And then someone else asked, why don't we have dark mode on our charts? I actually do have black charts, the ones that when you see me look up, I'm looking at my charts that are black. It's just for the show. We're showing you ones that are white.
I mean, we were told that it looks better.
Yes.
On the show.
It wasn't our call.
I mean, whatever you guys want. I was once you go black, you never go back. So I never. I'm here. Hi, my name's Sean. I'll be here every day. I thought it was better. I prefer it easier on the eyes, I think, for the black charts.
I think it is a lot easier on the eyes.
But apparently it looks better for the cameras. I don't know. You guys tell us.
We're just traders. I'm not a TV guy. I don't know what shows up better. You guys tell me, but we've been told it looks better, and I can see why the argument might be easier to pick things up on the chart. But I do use if you see, I don't know, I'll authorize the bald cam for a quick second here, Lucas. But there you go. You can kind of see these charts up here. When I'm looking, those are my individual stock charts, and those are all black. And then my futures charts here are black as well. And then the one on the show that's the one that's the gleaming white for you guys. But realistically, you should just use whatever chart works best for you. If you think that the dark charts, the dark mode is better, and you trade better with it, and it's easier for you to read, then just use it. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what's better or what's worse.
It's
all personal preference.
You could do. I mean, there's people that go. Blue and purple, not blue and purple, purple and yellow, different candles for different things.
Yeah, Trader Pratt has he uses what, blue and yellow. on his, he uses that.
Is that what he uses? I know he has dark charts, but
No,
again,
but on his candle wicks, I think he uses
on
blue
his-
and yellow. He had an explanation. He was basically saying that like people like green. I
some
think
sort
it
of
was
psychologically,
Yeah, like
right?
green and red are so psychologically like triggering. Like you get too excited if you see a bunch
Triggering.
of green, or maybe you think, oh, everything's tanking if you see too much red. So if you change the colors, you'll just stick to actually reading the levels in the chart. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've read any studies saying that's true, but if it works for you, then go ahead and do it. And Meta, I stop out and it's $1 lower. I suck. Brendan, what's up?
Just watch the monkeypox stocks, guys. Looks like the White House is now following suit with the WHO from the weekend declaring monkeypox a health emergency in the U.S. So it might get pop on that.
I know, like Siga still
go.
not doing anything. Sean is going bald. He better knock up his wife. I have 3 kids.
What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that would that just speeds. My hair wasn't going anywhere, and the gray, by the way,
Yeah,
like
people
that,
are sticking
that
up saying
started,
he already did.
That
Yeah,
started
I don't
when
really
you have
know.
kids, man. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't really know what that's all about, but sure. Hey, wife, if you're paying attention. Okay, right here, SIGA. It looks like right now
There it
it
is.
is. There
It
it
just
is.
broke.
There is the break now of 16. So we are finally long into SIGA here, and let's just see where we go. Remember, we have that 1625 area for level of concern that we talked about earlier. In case it does break, you can go back there to 1675. I mean, great for Brendan. Thanks for that update there, as that knocks it out of the park. There's that 1625 that we've seen before. So we are long right now into SIGA, and that's where we have some of our outs upside into the teens right now. So here it is, a nice little trade for us. We could be the one-hit wonder right now, in and out quickly, but we're not. We're going to see if we missed it. We were waiting at 18 there. It got as high as 19s. No, that must have been earlier. How did I not get filled there? No. What? Did I get filled? How did I not
The
get
high
filled?
from the morning was actually, it was
Yeah, but right now it just said, okay, whatever. Hopefully
Yeah.
I get it and I don't have to worry about it because I am at 16, 18. Our charts show like 21 there.
I see a 20 print.
Did you
but
get
that's-
filled anything higher
No,
than 18?
I'm actually, my first offer is above that high.
Okay.
So I'm kind of looking for it
Okay.
to break the highs from the morning and then taken out with people probably. Because I think some people might have their stop set to the pre-market top, like this high here from 1620. So I think that stop running gets you some out and then maybe you head to 1650. But after that news that we just saw, like if the White House is following suit, I don't see why we're not going higher. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of thinking about GovX as well. Like, okay, like I just trailed out of GovX and then that just happens. Now this is right back into the trend of the upside. I mean, that's obviously a little bit frustrating because it felt like that was going to pull back. But yeah, let's see this one go as well. If it gets to $2, I think that's a good level on the daily chart for GovX. I might have missed a chance. But I mean, Siga's just fine. Like being in this one as well is going to be solid. But it's just frustrating. The news comes out right after GovX had pulled back a little bit.
Yeah, so we actually took a 16 there. We didn't, or did we get a 17? I don't even know anymore. Let me just double check. We got a 16 there right now on that one. There we go. And we just got a 15. So we're out of 20% pretty early there on this. Let's wait for that 1625 to come, and then hopefully it's the moon after that. There it is. Yes, sir. Ring the Reggie right there. Hit those sirens. There it is. Now we're starting to go right now on SIGA. So you see getting, getting in the chair, getting ready to go right there as we start to go back
Brandon's
up to the
happy.
upside there. Yeah, on SIGA, nice little move up. So again, it doesn't take too many trades to make some money, right? We're going to go 1 for 1 here. Knock on wood. Let's hope that this 1 for 1 continues. Let's take another piece out here at 33 if we can get it. Right, did we just get that already? No, we didn't. So we missed that 33 out right now on SIGA. So that was another spot there. If it goes, I just want to take the momentum. Give me those 33s. There it is. So as soon as it shows its face, you get whatever you want. So there it is. We got those 33s out there. Oh, where's my chart? Right there on SIGA. So yeah, man, it doesn't take much. This is the trade they're waiting for all day for this level to break. So when it does happen, we're all over it. I want to give a shout out to Brendan, who just mentioned that to us there. White House on the television right now talking about monkeypox. So no surprise here that SIGA goes for a little bit of a run. Brendo.
All right, speaking of the White House, guys, here's a video that's happening right now. They're speaking virtually to a bunch of chip makers and CEOs. So Biden speaking virtually right now. That's happening, you can see. So a heads up on the chip makers as well.
Okay, someone in the chat was saying that the White House was talking about it. But another thing to look at for SIGA, last week's high was at 1630. So that's sort of a reason to have an out between that 20 and 30. That's where I was taking the first leg out, was between the 20 and 30. I think above 30, that's where you have room to run. I'm looking to see if it can do that. But SIGA, it's doing good, but TNXP arguably stronger, GovX as well. Like, it's not the only name out there, but GovX is extending to that $2 range where I think I would have been taking it anyways. It gets to $2, and that's going to get real interesting. The other weird thing that just happened is, of course, we're just looking at the monkeypox names booming to the upside. Maybe lose sight of what's going on in the overall market. Like Alibaba, Baba just rolled back over off of that high from the morning and then just got me filled down there at 60s and is now headed back into VWAP rather rapidly. I'm sure if I pull up Meta, I'll just be even more upset with it because it's probably heading back to the lows. Micron we just broke the lows of the market.
What just happened there? Oh, AMD, okay.
Yeah, like Micron just broke the low of the day. So these are starting to come in. I'm going to see if I can't take something out on this low break. But yeah, that was quite the reversal. Like
what is Biden doing?
Like, the second it's like the White House is talking about monkeypox, and okay, the monkeypox stock went to the upside. Simultaneously, the chips rolled over. BABA, which didn't make too much sense, I rolled over with the rest of the market, I guess. And then I said if this would happen, I would look at Meta. And then once again see it back at that low of the day, although it looked like it had a bit of a spike back to 166. I don't know how real that is.
We talked about Netflix rolling over, man. I talked about that earlier, taking that short through that 221, and man, that is working. I was just yelling there because, I was like, what is Biden talking about there? But I guess it's the chip stock, so there it is, starting to send the NASDAQ to the downside. But again, I told you, like, this is why you got to have the plan. Like, we were sitting there, it came in, I was just like, okay, let's wait for this trade to come through. Obviously, we don't want it to come through if there's some sort of a negative report rolling around there, or if something has changed in what we expect from an AMD, or I don't know what the outlook is for this sector. I'm sure obviously Brennan's right there, so I don't have to worry about it if there is anything catastrophic. What I have to worry about is some technical analysis and figuring out where we're going to be wrong on this name in order to get out. But I'm pretty happy with this level right here at 86.40, man. Like, if we break it, it's VWAP, and I feel like it's kind of just handing me this trade right now. So I feel like it's foolish. What is that, Fahad? What does Fahad have on there? More chicken? What is this guy killing?
This guy just came back with a loaded up plate.
Is that what's for lunch there? Lucas just said it's his third helping right now. So he's getting, the thing is that I don't know if it helps your bowling form or anything like that, but it definitely gives there. Oh, by the way, Fahad has updated me on the bowling. And they have downloaded a game on Apple right now that Fahad is just ripping Lucas at, right? So as far as it's video game based, I don't even know if that's the truth. I'm just letting you know. When I was up there doing okay, Lucas now denying that. So based on all of that, I have to take Lucas's word for it.
But I thought we'd actually agreed on the next challenge for the two of them. I know that our next outing might be karaoke, but I thought you two guys had an agreement on the next thing you do for a bit of a challenge, because there needs to be a rematch, right? Like we're happy.
But
to
are
see
you
that.
willing to do the rematch in bowling? I don't think so.
On Saturday, I was so close to going back.
Okay, so there you go. That's the kind of, honestly, hit the siren alert right now. Fahad is close to going out and practicing that. No, but seriously, this is why I respect it, okay? Because for trading wise, if you don't have it right, go back.
No,
go into sim mode. Practice your strategies. This man bowled for the very first time, right? And beat, do I have to pull up the scores again? Fahad actually, 52.
Who did he actually beat? He didn't beat anybody.
I don't think did he beat anybody? Maybe I should take this back. Hold on a second.
I'll tell you this right now.
Here are the bowling scores.
I'll tell you this right now. That, Lucas actually didn't even beat me, and I bloody well suck at bowling. Fahad, in your defense, I will say I am a bad bowler, and Lucas, for all of his trash talk,
Lucas, come here so people can see the scores.
But he beat the person he had to beat. He beat the score he had to beat. Let's be real for a second.
I just want to say, Katrine, sorry to throw you under the bus here, but she's the one that got the lowest, and then Liz is there. But the person that had the most to drink by far was me.
But she weighs like 20.
It doesn't matter. You know that, Fahad. But it doesn't matter. None of these scores. Yeah, Fahad was smashed, yeah. I don't think any of these scores were we were so early into the alcohol at this point. But anyways, it doesn't matter. There's the scores here. I just want to say, Fahad, I think with practice, he can get there. He can get there. So let's see. You know what I was thinking, Fahad? Because you're more of as we just watch AMD here. Not much is happening right now, but we're $1 in the money, so we'll do that for Apple. Where Snapchat's good. Sega's fallen back down for anybody interested in some Sega. But is there a possibility that we could do something like free throws? And I'll tell you this, maybe if we do 30 free throws.
But he's a basketball player. That's not true.
No. I'm just wondering what what, like, can we do
Oh,
a line?
handicap.
Can there be a line?
Yes, that
on
works.
that.
That
So
works.
that's what I'm worried about. But I'm not worried about anything as far as that. I just think that would be really fun to do that because karaoke. Katrina was saying that they have a score in karaoke.
I just learned this on Friday myself
Me
too.
too.
Where it was described to us that there's actually like a scoring method based on like hitting the right note, and there's like an API or algorithm that figures out how efficient you are with hitting. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. So. I think that would be hilarious, but I don't know if everyone else would love that. I like the sports challenges. I think that's pretty cool. I think you guys should just figure something out there.
Sean
but
Bowles.
let's be real. Fahad, like for all the jokes that we're saying, like credit to Fahad, man.
Yes,
He'd never bowled
exactly.
before. He talked a lot of trash, had a lot of pressure put on him, and then he lived up to it. Man of his word. He's like he'll do the pigtail challenge. So it's all respect.
Oh, is that happening tonight?
It's
Just so
all
people
love.
know.
So it's up to you guys.
Isn't your hair in pigtails right now? Oh, Katrine's gonna do them.
I was gonna say, like, you got to get the pigtails. Like, they're in, but they're not. They're okay. I want to see them a little more pronounced than that. But
yeah, let's go curling. Yeah, let's. Nah, people don't
I
want to go.
told you I want to go curling.
People don't want to go curling.
Because I've always wanted to
we
curl.
can
And I know.
do curling.
So Sean curls, by the way.
I
or
can do
used to
curling,
curl.
used
So
to,
I always
yeah.
wanted to get taught how to do
Coach
it because it looks
curling.
fun. But you used to curl back in the day.
Yeah, but then I hurt my knee. It's hard to slide out now.
Yeah, I can see that.
But curling would be really fun to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. But hey, more to come, guys. More to come.
Yeah.
That's the point about working here. We love our day
Someone
trade the
just
world
said there's
team.
karaoke world championships. Get the heck
There's
out
a
of
world
here.
champion. Look, man, I saw people chasing cheese. I mean, there's an old thing, I think it's Scotland or England, where they literally put a wheel of cheese
Karaoke.
down a hill and they run after it. So yeah, there is a championship for everything. All right, so just going back here before I run and go get a coffee. All right, AMD right now. It did get back to in the money or flat enough as it is, man. Our flat period, our flat area there is this 50 period. So 86.90 or so. That's where we're long. We're long 86.87 right now. So back-to-back numbers there. 86.87 is where we are long. And I still think upside move coming. I mean, that was a nice little dump down. The NASDAQ dumped. We are $1 in the money. Of course, we said that for our position in Apple. Our SIGA is flat, looking to get out of SIGA. Look, if we're going to hold the rest for a break of the day high, which at this point, I mean, my best out is 33, and we do have 50% left of SIGA. So right now, we've made enough money that we can hold this. It will be a red trade if we get the rest out for 50 cent hit, of course. But I'm going to hold out for that 15.50 and just hope it doesn't dump out. It's just part of my plan, man. I mean, I don't know.
They're all still trending. Like,
yeah,
I'm
it's still. I don't want to get out of it.
I'm kind of looking across the board. TNXP, since that news came out, above the breakout price, right? Codex just came through. That's the other one. Well, maybe a little bit less liquid. Codex, 5-cent spread, $6 stock, but that one's pulled back. I don't think it has the same kind of liquidity. That's still got strength. GovX is holding up pretty well. That just pulled back, but it's still holding above that 170 where I trailed out. So I kind of want to have something a piece of the party. I'm going to hang on to the shorts we got. BABA, Micron. I don't know if we celebrated this one, but finally, it gets weird. Sometimes the market's weird like this, right? Like I missed a short on Micron, but you're shorting at 60 on the way down when it's resistance and it works. But the second we came back up, it needed to fail at the same price for me to get it. Like when it broke VWAP, I was looking for these tops that just never came into play. Like give me shorts off of these levels, and then it only gave you that breakdown. Then all of a sudden, the second it breaks that same 60 price from this morning, boom, it's right back to working instantly again. So this is what we mean about trading key price levels. Sometimes it can seem counterintuitive. Yes, is shorting at 60.40 better than shorting at 60? Sure, but it's when you're able to get that trade and after you've already made this bounce back to the upside off of 59.80, 60.40 isn't necessarily better than 60. The second 60 breaks, it's instantly working for you, and that's what makes it a key price level. I think if you're going to have anything long, I mean, I don't know if energy names are still holding up. But it's the monkeypox names. I saw some people saying that the travel names could get beaten up on the monkeypox news. I'm not really seeing too much. Like I see CCL, it's weak on the day, but it's not doing much of anything. But it's worth a look. I mean, they're already beaten up. I don't know if this is serious enough to tank the cruise lines when they're already as bad as they've been recently. Was that Brendan? Yeah. What kind of call was that? Like yawning.
And Niles, who is a frequent CNBC contributor from Satori Funds, short Microsoft.
This guy, Dan Niles, I know who he is.
Oh, okay.
He's a contributor on CNBC.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing is like, I don't know, man. I like, to short it now is one thing. To make a call on it is another. I mean, like I said, we are day trading here, so we do have to watch out. I mean, some of these bottoms there, I don't want to short this bottom right now. It is down that 1.24%. I'd like to find out why he thinks it's a short. I feel like Microsoft is one of the companies that do have that moat around them a little bit, with Azure and the Xbox and just Windows and still PCs still playing a prominent role. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe he's right. I'd like to read that report for sure, as I am a shareholder for Softies. So yeah, Google's down. Short it all, Sean. Yeah, you might be right there. Ideal and New York City, NYC. There, I think you might be right on that. We are. Like, this is not going to be a day maker, breaker, anything. I could get out for flat right now on AMD. AMD is bouncing off that 50 period one more time. So I think I will take this opportunity to get a little lighter on it here and just go for flat on a piece of it and then watch out. Because again, the NASDAQ's below the 50 period here. So there we do. We just got some out there at that 50 period. So the NASDAQ is below, and yeah, it's not a gift horse because we're not winning, but I just feel like if it is going to let me relieve some of that pressure off of this trade, then we can do that. It's not, I'm just trying to give it down to here. Look at it the other way around here. Obviously the market's coming to the downside now, right? But I feel like when you're looking at a name like AMD here, it's actually held up pretty good in this move down. Apple, you know, this is what Apple looks like, right? What else do we want to look at? Roblox. You know, I mean, the moves are down. I was long Roblox. Obviously, Microsoft, we just talked about that. Look at this move coming back down right now as well, right? And then you look at AMD, and it looks like this. So that's why I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay true to who I am and try to trade long on a stock that I believe is relatively strong against this market move. So that way, if the market does pop back up, which it just went to like 94 or 95, 93 there really quickly on a pop back up. So I'm not like tape reading. I'm not trying to judge the momentum or anything like that. It's just looking at this. It looks relatively strong. So I play AMD to the pop for that long side. So let's see if we can get upside now. My offer is going to be around this 87. See if we could take 15 cents on like another 10% or something. And then realistically, these are the kind of sites that I have. These heights and sites up here at 87.30 is kind of where I'm thinking about for AMD. So it will be a day maker. Like, it'll be a good trade for me, and we'll be able to sort of top up the day a little bit because it hasn't been great today. If we can top this up with a nice little move upside in AMD, we'll do that. So let's take advantage, put an offer at 87 right now. If it pops up, great. We can hold the rest, but that's sort of my thinking here on AMD.
And Sega, that just there, pulls back off that breakout trade. If you look at this is the area for the break. You have it made this top here at about 15.96, and then when it broke out 16 right here, you had the support right down there. It had a wick down to 15.60. That's a real candle, by the way. Actually got down to that price. So reloads in front of that line. If we break that, I think you're likely retesting VWAP, but that's just paid back into that 15.90 area, and we'll see if it can get even higher. Still hanging on to a couple of short trades, but the one thing that I got out of AMC to get back in front of that 1480, and it's still holding 1480, by the way. So I did take some shares out at VWAP, and then it comes right back in, still trending to the downside. That long's gonna, it was good off the morning. There's no question about it. At 9:30, it was good, and since then, it's just been an absolute dog. But still yet to break that 1480 stop level, which is fair enough. I mean, I'll sit in it. Alibaba continues to work into the downside, so I got out of Meta and got wicked out, and then Baba manages to actually hold its morning tops there, headed back in, but it's still having trouble. It gets halfway to VWAP and then sort of stalls out there. It needs to get down to that 100. With the market taking lows, I would expect Baba should be heading toward $100 if it can finally break this consolidation, but still working for us, Brendo.
Big mover this morning, guys. Redbox just popping back up here through 550 on volume, trying to hold 525, 530. So yeah, huge day for Redbox trying to go again.
I'm gonna show you guys this chart. Here's my 15-minute chart, and I'll show you. This is me taking the 5 break, and this is me stopping out. And you're like, how do you stop out like that? So when I took this trade, this was off of the halt So very specifically, when I make a post-halt trade, I'm usually going to have a really defined stop. And if anything, the play, like once it tests the halt price, it's like 505 up here, starts reversing, manages to hold a higher level of support, and I'm just taking the breakout with a relatively tight stop. Because when this fails a break, I'm always concerned of it halting down again. However, what then happened right after I got out of this is a different trade, which is shows you the rejection, tries to break that high, puts the wick high, and then still maintains holding the higher low. And once it does that, then you're thinking about that breakout trade with almost like a wider stop. It becomes a bit of a trend trade. And if you look at what happened after that, once you're putting on the trend trade, it holds at 510, it then finds support at 510, it's still finding support at 510. So like, I have entries that I like, long or short, off of halt plays, and they tend to be in and out, one and done, very binary. Like either it works and it gives me that initial push to the upside with a tight stop, or it doesn't. In this particular case, like the actual trend trade, much better. RDBX, I mean, this is the short, and again, it's the monkeypox names, and it's this with the heavy short interest that are showing you strength, and it's energy as well. Those are the ones that are giving you the green. Everything else is looking like an absolute dog here. Just going to go back over because Micron caught a bit of a bid. I'm not really looking to reload this unless it's a little bit closer to 60, because as of right now, you are still barely breaking the morning lows here. So yes, the trend is to the downside, but not really too heavily to that downside there. But Micron, definitely a different name compared to some of the other chip names out there in terms of relative strength. It's, like I said, it's sitting well below VWAP on the lows of the day, whereas, AMD here holding above VWAP, holding higher levels of support. So we often talk about like relative strength and weakness within a sector, but sometimes there's like different types of names in that sector. There's growth names in a sector like your NVIDIAs and your AMDs. There's more cyclical ones like Micron and Intel. So you have to always make those distinctions as well. Like Micron's relatively weak here. The rest of the chip names are actually holding up pretty decently.
I mean, I can't, everyone's going to trade their own book, right? But I mean, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to go, yeah, we're smoking on this one because AMD, before I went to go get a coffee, shout out to coffee time. The machine wasn't that good this morning, but it's much better now. Again, believing in your long. So like right away, this is going to go up to one of the top stocks here on the show right now off of one trade basically for AMD. We had to absorb it. The thing about it is, on this midday show, this, I guess, well, it's kind of midday, but afternoon for the market here. You had to be specific. I told you we were waiting for that price to come in, and now, yes, sir, on a nice little trade there. We'll hit that because the money bags. Come on, let's go, baby. We just got a 20 right there, an 18 or whatever the heck it was. And again, I don't sit right in front of the exact level. Like I'll go a couple pennies ahead. Like if this high is 30, then I'll be sitting like at 28 or something like that to make sure that we get out. Sometimes we don't do that, and sometimes we do. So we got to keep it fresh. And I do that for myself too, right? I'm not one of those guys that thinks like, oh my God, they're going to run our stops. Like, do you know what it means to run a stop on something that's done 70 million shares on the day and looks like this? You're not. You can try to punch long 10,000 shares right now and it might go up like a penny and a half. So, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. But again, if we're all looking at the same levels, this is more what I believe in. If everybody, and I think this is just easy to say, it's not rocket science. If everybody's looking, look at this top. Like, can we not, my kid is 10 years old, can figure this top out. I mean, right there, right? So they would say again, right there. So whoops, he might be able to draw better than I am too. There it is again. So obviously when it comes back up, we got to get something out again, right? So there we go, one more time outside there for AMD, as now it's really starting to pop through for AMD. We have 8 times the shares on AMD that we do right now on Apple, as that's come back in a little bit now, come back up from that. And look at that low level. We just hit that all the way again. Shout out to Sam Troy. This dude, thank you for all the super chats. I mean, you probably already did this one, the last one, but thanks again. Sam, you just said you made 500 grand last year watching the show. So shout out to you, Sam, and thanks for the super chats. That definitely means a lot to us, and that's a decent return. That's for damn sure, no matter how much money you're trading with. That's a great return, as some of us don't have that much luck. So thanks, Sam, for that, and congratulations for all of your success as well. I believe a Day Trade the World office owner there, Sam. If I'm mistaken, my bad on that one. AMD right now is having a hard time at DCI. I draw those things, and now they're gone. AMD does have a hard time here at these tops, and now it's faded back in. So when I see that, I just go kind of off or enter, see if we can get, there we go, we get those 11s, and then, or did we get 12s? Who knows? Now it's all the way up to 87.15 again. So let's take out a little bit more. We are now in half of what we had on that fill alone. We're in a little bit more than half because we started up here. So hopefully we can get back going now to the upside. 87.30 for AMD. Oh, he said 50K, not 500,000. There he goes. Yeah. I made 500 million. Someone else did. Good for you, guys. And again, doesn't really matter what you make. Just be comfortable in what you're making and your risk. That's all that it is. Because if your risk makes sense, then you can just add zeros to the end of that trade and hopefully be able to be successful moving forward.
Yeah, you don't want your next trade to be your last trade. And you always want to try to be getting better. Those are easy. Those are more simple things to get to. And I see a couple of people have asked about, or maybe it was just one person continuously asking about MEDP. So I will try to get to that one in a quick second. I haven't looked at it at all today. And we'll be honest about that. Like we'll prepare and we'll have stocks that we're looking at and go over them and go over the charts. But trust me, there's lots that moves that when you call it out, it's like the first time I'm looking at it on the day. So MEDP will be that. Sega just pulled back off of 1610. So it is still resisting that breakout, still above that 1550. And since that 1550 break, it is putting in a series of higher lows. That could come to an end at any point. And there's also only 35 minutes left in the session. With that bounce in the market, Micron, which had given me the nice move back into the lows, comes right back to that 60 level. So I just reloaded it on Micron. I haven't been able to get a reload on Alibaba just yet. That's still sort of cruising. Cruising below that 101, but it bounced off 150 one more time. If you're watching some of the other monkeypox names, like that GovX, which was super strong, that pullback off 185. I wish it was $2. If it was $2, I'd probably be short the stock, or if it was like 195, I'd probably be short the thing, but it didn't quite get there. But you have to watch these, because if you're in Sega and this thing starts breaking down to VWAP, well, Sega's probably going to follow. And the same thing with TNXP, which now has a double top at 190 and is pulling back. Again, if that was at $2, I might actually be short that one. But look, it is what it is. Like the stock's going to go to the price it's going to go to, not the price that you want to execute at. So if you can like an even dollar level all you want, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to catch that execution there. I think it was that MEDP, MEDP. They're just earnings are tonight, which I have no anticipation what it's going to be. I know some of the biotech names have been strong today. My daily doesn't really want to load. I think part of the issue for a stock like this is going to be when you're running into overhead resistance going into earnings, you'll have some sort of natural sellers that'll just be at that level. But I kind of look at that rally into strength and say that somebody likes buying it into earnings, that's for sure. And the space has been pretty strong too, Brendan.
One that popped up during lunch, guys, KOSS, just breaking back to the upside a little bit here. Tried to hold 10. Anyways, on decent volume, still 30% if you missed it. They won a patent dispute, or a lawsuit, I guess, between Apple and KOSS for a patent infringement case. So back to the upside for KOSS.
All right. Great name there. Obviously, we talked about them during the meme days. Big short percentage there. But again, you fight Apple. People are going to short you. It's nice to see that. I believe it was somebody with the sound equipment there, AirPods or the technology there. So thanks, Brendan, for that one. KOSS. Just getting lighter on Sega. I did take a piece out there. We're still positive on the name. I just want to get out of a little bit more than what we had. So we are holding that last piece. I don't even have any offers out. Well, that's a lie. I do have one out at 50 all the way up here. 1650 in case we do get that bounce and I'm not on it. But right now, Sega, we did take another piece out right there on this 50 period, which was 87 or 86 right there out on Sega, a little piece of it. So again, it's just, I like to be positive on the stock. I get out now and be positive on the stock. Let's see if it runs higher. We'll leave it at that for now. But I just was a little nervous that we could dump below since we were hovering around that 50 period, but let's hold out hope. We're still red on the stock we're still green on the stock today. We only made one trade on Sega, and it was that 16 break from the morning. So let's hold on to it. I still have an offer up here at 1650, so hopefully that can come through, but then the outs at 1550. I was just thinking to myself, if it dumps all the way to 1550, then it will be red on it, and it would not be good. And then like my AMD profits and so on and so forth gone on one Sega trade. So we'll get out a little bit more there and just absorb that. AMD is coming back in again. I'm going to take another piece out here, maybe even right here, maybe even out of, see this is, whoops, I don't want to use too many shares. Oh shoot, did I get out of too many shares there? No, not really, that's okay. So we did get out of some 06s right there. Whoops, we don't want that ellipse to go. Let's take that off right now and go back to the pointer once again. Right there, 87 and change. On AMD, we'll take another piece out. So we now have about 40% of our initial trade. So it's not as good as we thought, man. If that would have kept running, then it would have been a positive name for us on this trade. But right now it's still positive. We've banked some money, but again, we banked a cup of coffee. Like, hopefully this name can go here on some strength. But if this market's going to keep failing, then I think the reload on shorts is probably what's going to be the trade.
And you're welcome, Ariana, for going over this simply. Here's the thing, like, you know, if you guys ask about a stock, like the worst thing that can possibly happen is like, hey man, I got nothing for you. But, you know, maybe, just maybe, there's something insightful that can be learned from it. And heck, to be honest, like sometimes I'll get something on my radar that wasn't before. Like that's what it's all about. That's what the community is all about. That's what having a trading community and other traders around you is all about. To be able to talk over some of your ideas, to be able to get different perspectives, to have someone that holds you accountable in addition to yourself. So we love all of that. And I don't have a trade on Oxy except to say that I wish I had looked a little closer in the mornings because it had that classic failed break of the low and then just break out the high. Like it puts a wick bottom in, oil's been strong, and then you had the breakout of the high at 62, and it's just been trending to the upside. I mean, it's just the trend hasn't given you any reason if you're in this, no reason to get out of it. Holding above the last week's breakout. It just put a bit of a wick off top there, but I think that's just probably profit takers at the end of today trying to get some shares out of that. And speaking of getting shares out, we have to be flat at the end of the day. We've probably mentioned that about 1 million times, so I'll leave it on my 15-minute, but I continue to take shares out on Micron every time it fails off that 60 even. Even if the market were to head lower, I have to get out of this by the end of the day. And at some point, I'll just cancel my stop and punch out of AMC because it's all well and good that it holds 1480, but it's not doing anything but hold 1480. Like it just keeps bouncing off this level. I did reload one time off of this. It has yet to break down. It has yet to break up. It's just going sideways. So not much to do there. My stop is in place. It gets below that price and I will be out of it. But for now, it's a bit of a nothing burger. BABA is coming right back up. I'll go to my 15 again. Going right back up to maybe give a reload off that 101. I'd like to be able to get more shares in here, but I don't want to force the issue. Trading at the 80s. I'd like to get something a little bit closer to the last entry in the 90s off of that high because this top is at 101.25, so it is that area, but there's a big difference between where we had earlier, shorting these 80s, which was frustrating, and then shorting right up close to that high. Like I'd much rather be shorting it off of our level than sort of chasing it down too far.
Oh, man, just reading some of this chat. Yeah, very, very interesting. Shout out again, Sam Troy. Thanks for the super chats. It doesn't, look, I don't really care how much people make or lose. Any super chat is definitely thoughtful. So thank you so much for that one. And I just really, really appreciate it, all of that. So, yeah, let's just keep on going. And, yeah, I mean, look, I know obviously traders that are negative for the year, negative for a long time. I mean, a lot of traders actually wind up failing. So it's definitely not an easy job. And I mean, sometimes maybe we make it look like it's a little simpler here, but again, very, very specific with the entries, with the exits, and just play your game. That's the number one thing that I can tell everybody. Don't listen to the noise outside. If you play earnings, then play earnings. You want to do rebate trading or slower stocks, or you guys probably don't even know what rebate trading is, but just trading for spread and things like that, fine. You want to play earnings plays like Netflix and Tesla, that's great. Segas of the world, Revlon, we know a lot of people made some money. You want to trade the big cap tech stocks, that's great too. The reason why I focus on them is because they move so much. I've been looking at it since we started the show. I've been following the NASDAQ, so I like to follow a lot of the same names. And again, we are trading equity here. There you go. Shout out to Sam. There's another $20. We'll go, thank you so much for that, Sam. And by the way, I believe you're a Day Trade the World office. Let me just give your office a shout out. If you want to, you can put it in the chat or message me. I wouldn't mind shouting you guys out for sure for that one as well. But if anybody's ever in the GTA and want to swing by the show, you're more than welcome to do that. Just hit it up, marketing@tradertv.live. Let us know that you're around here. You can come on, you can meet us and everything like that.
You don't have to be a Day Trade the World office guy. You can just
No, anybody, yeah. Anybody wants to. We've had a couple guests come through. Mind you, they did bring us some scotch. So no pressure.
Oh, that's what we forgot to do.
On that one, so no pressure to anybody.
Brennan just said minimum entry fee was that scotch, which we didn't actually have.
Until Brennan gets a hold of it, and I don't even know where it is anymore. Wasn't there someone said that?
Brennan literally has it. It's under his desk.
It's right here.
Under his desk. Yeah,
under
that's-
Brendan's desk, of course.
Right, exactly.
That's where-
So we all have stuff under our desk, but there it is. Good job there, Brendo, on that one. No
I
wonder why
got
there's
cashews on my desk. I
wonder
don't
why
have
there's
any
not-
scotch, but
Oh, me, I just have a safe that I deposit all my money into under the desk here. So
Is that where you keep it?
That's where I keep it.
Good
Yeah.
point.
So, anyways, what's up, Brendo?
I was just going to mention the SPAC. There's a DSAC
yeah.
just went crazy. Just still looking for news, but this is a SPAC, so fair warning.
Yeah, you
I
can
love
bring some
that it's
pizza. You
like,
can bring some
we
pizza.
don't know what it is, but a fair warning, it's a SPAC, so therefore it might come right back down. I think that's what we're saying tongue in cheek. But thank you, Sunhands Mrak, for the super chat there. Asking short Neo tomorrow. I actually tried the long off the 50 period, and it didn't work at the open. And I'll go back to just not trying to pick a direction off of this. Like where it is right now, it's broken the 20. So yes, are you leaning towards shorts when you break a floor like that overall? Sure, I think we had that last week, and we sort of looked at that for stocks like Li Auto did that. I mean, Baba, since it had a break like that, it certainly is sort of the same thing. But as it tries to bounce off the 50 period, it does sort of complicate the move a little bit, and that's right at this 19.25, and it's sitting there today. So if we're cleanly below 19, and you can play that area to the south side, just looking for it to hold below the 50 period, reject any kind of a bounce, great. But if the stock is above 19.25 and you're just sort of hanging out above the 50 period moving average there, and you haven't really had any follow through, I'm not going to lead into a short above that price when it's finding support at a major average. I'd much rather look at something which is breaking down. Like that's why, not to go back to the same thing, but that's why this break here in Micron, I'm going back to the well from this morning because it's right back below that price. So then it works for me to be short. And so a level like that, fair enough. And this is rejecting the 50 period. So a little bit more of a bearish chart, at least for now, on a Micron, which I'm almost for sure going to come tomorrow looking for shorts on, than saying it's automatic over there in Neo, which I don't think it's automatic.
Okay, yeah, shout out. Yeah, Dan McIsaac wants us to swing through. Sure, man. You don't have, I'm just playing around. You don't have to bring anything if you want to come see us, that's for sure. Just bring a smile and a couple of high fives through the door, and that's good. And this is why I love Bears versus Bulls. So thanks so much. I just mentioned anyone around here. The next thing I know is I see a post on the chat in the Toronto area. Email this.
He's
you
on
can come
fire,
right through.
man.
So thanks for that one. And look, we just want to, if anything, we just want to show you guys, you know, the studio, what it's all about. You can have a chance to meet us, ask us questions, whatever. We're into that. And you can see our trading floor behind us. I think everyone's in a meeting or they've all been fired or something because I don't see anybody behind us right now.
I
But
was going to say, I'm like, I didn't see Sharif today. I don't know where he is.
I don't know where anybody is today. But anyways, as it goes, that's our trading floor, and we're happy to discuss it with you guys. And you can come down and have a look at everything that we're doing here because we are very, very proud here of everything that we've been able to accomplish at Trader TV Live with the studio and everything like that. So if you are in the area, of course, come through. No worries, and you don't have to bring anything, Mr. McIsaac. But if you are a brewmaster or anything like that, some people saying on there you can do that. We are trading not CDRs, not options, nothing like that. We are trading live equity stock. So, and of course, what we both mean by that is just the shares of a company. So, you know, these are live to the market.
say this, though.
They route. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, Day Trade the World, Day Trade the World has futures. Day Trade the World has, I mean, you can actually trade
But not CDRs.
OTCs. There's no CDRs, like even some currencies as well.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, we trade equities. It's not that some of those things aren't available to Day Trade the World. It's just that, you know, you stay in your lane, right? Like, you trade what you're good at. You can trade, like, there's so much
Cryptocurrency,
you
yes,
can
but
trade
not really.
Yes, but no for crypto. It's not.
Our offering is not super.
Yeah,
great.
it's not as liquid as some of the things that you're able to trade. You know, obviously, there's better opportunities out there. That's why we sort of stick to what we are good at. But hey, there's a lot of things that are available to you. I think the futures are a good market for trends and be able to do that. We have Arun that does that and have a couple of other traders who are going to be able to show you what they do with the overall futures. But you know what? You know, that's what's so great about trading in general is there are so many ways to express market moves that it's limitless, and that gives you so many paths to profitability. It's just about finding what works for you, and then damn everything else, right? Like if you're only good at like some of these small cap runners, then just do that. I was saying that to a trader too. Like, who cares? Like, if it makes sense to you, and all you do is make money when you trade these Segas of the world, then you don't have to be the person that masters Tesla. You know, like maybe psychologically it feels better to do that, but who cares? Just trade what works for you. As far as Sega goes, we're at 340. I'm gonna put my trailing stop a little bit higher. I'm actually gonna move it up to 60 from 50. So if we break the re-entry here at about 60, we're just gonna get out of it. It's starting to fall asleep. I don't want to reload on Baba at this particular point. All afternoon, I've sort of been sitting waiting for Tesla in case it got to 815. You can throw that out the window. Tesla's not going to 815 for a short. If anything, Tesla's about to get down to 800, where if this was earlier in the session, I'd be looking for a bounce play off 800. The same way we're trading it late in days at 700, the 800 bounce might give you something. The market is threatening, but not really breaking the fresh lows here. So Tesla 800, that'll definitely be a thing tomorrow.
Yo, what's up, Chef Joe? Look, don't. I think if either one of us is on the East Coast, man, in the shores of Jersey, there, I am going to Sinner's Steakhouse.
Well,
Chef Joe. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
man. I'm all about that. Let me know if you have any seafood up in there. I'm sure you do as well. That'd be pretty
hell
sick
yes.
to go down there.
Oh, about the surf and turf.
Shout out to Chef Joe as well. Okay. Let's just keep on going, man. Chef Paul over there at Cactus Club, definitely. Thank you. Big shout out to you, too. I haven't seen or spoken to you in a bit, but me and my wife went there, of course, for our 10th anniversary after I had knocked her up already. There's shout out to everybody in the chat that talked about that before. But I told that to her, and she started laughing
I still understand
on the chat there.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I'm guessing that
What's
it
the
was
lo-
like, okay, look, before I go bald, I should lock her up, is what I'm thinking. Like make sure that, she's not going to leave me and stuff like that.
Okay, I could see
I could see
but-
that. I could see
Yeah, the
that
way it was
for
said, it's
sure.
like knock her up doesn't make sense.
That's the thing.
Someone just told me something which could be trouble. So I didn't even realize this,
What
but
was it?
Sundial's doing a reverse tomorrow. Reverse
The other
split
way.
on 10. Yeah, well, yeah, because they need to go above a buck,
Reverse
right?
split, yeah.
So 10-1 on Sundial, which a lot of times, look, you're doing that kind of a split because usually you need to get back above $1 and you're under pressure. So this thing has like 2 million. Look at the stock right now. They're just barcoding
even
after
wanna
that
look at
drop
that
to the
stock.
downside. And then the level 2 on Sundial, and you don't really see this very often, but this is what it looks like on the offer. So suffice to say, it's SSR, and people can't hit that bid, so they are just loading the offer at 30 cents.
Loading.
So, yeah, I'll probably have a quick look at Sundial tomorrow morning, and it'll be on my watch list. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm just going to blindly short it at whatever price it happens to be at, but I probably will try to short it at some point. But Sundial, it's a big
I think
volume
you just
spike
blindly
there.
short that
You
one,
just come in,
honestly.
close your eyes, and short it. I will say this: in 1 week, I think on Sundial, I had
this market.
probably one of the biggest trades I had on the show upside, and then the next day got shut down on Sundial, shorting it. Because I had a breakdown at $1,
going
which was
crazy.
crazy, and then it went all the way down to 80 something. I was like, this is a great short. And then when it started bouncing, I was just like, well, if it was good before, I'll do it again. And just loaded up in front of $1 and then shut myself down. Maybe I probably wasn't shut down, but I was close enough to it that it didn't matter.
No, I think that day, I remember that day.
I think I
you were
was shut
like,
down.
Yeah,
I
you were
think I
pretty
was shut
upset.
down. It was ridiculous, but it's like that's
happens.
the whole point of. If it comes to that same price level the second time, it was really good the first time or the first couple of times, there's just more people that are going to try it. And then that just means there's more people to get run over, and it's less likely to be a good trade. So I always want to be careful with that. But yeah, Sundial's going to be on the radar, especially even there's nothing, you can't do anything with this trade here. It probably won't even move a cent for the rest of the day. But yeah, it should be on our radars. I just got trailed out of SIGA, so the last long is the last one. And it'll be a
there it
losing
is,
one,
yeah.
but yeah, it just trailed out. Still a successful overall move in the afternoon. Broke 1550, broke 16, gave you some runs to the upside. Just no follow through for SIGA, unfortunately. And not reloading Micron, too close to 350. I'll put like I said, I'm going to throw the trails out just to make sure that we don't. I don't want it just getting past the 60 even. Like every time I've gotten short, it's been pretty much at like 95, 96 in that range. So it's close enough to break even that we'll just try to lock that in and make sure that we don't turn this into a losing trade. But I might still be in this come 350 because if it's below 60, I want to be short.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And we'll just do like this. Mamma mia, someone said they're going to bring some pizza. You can bring some pizza if you did want to. There it is right now because right here, AMD, there it is, man. That's going to be, again, for me, like just happy with even if my day were to end right now, we are very, very pleased with this trade here and how we traded today. So AMD, we don't have a huge piece left. We just take another piece out here as it comes back up to the end of the day as 342 comes. And this is basically at a high spot that I can trust now on AMD. This is, looking here, it's almost back to the high of the day. I should be pleased if we're going to get that. So, we waited very, very patiently, and patience is a virtue that I do not normally possess. So, right there, let's just keep on going. now to the upside and break out from that 87.30. We're going to see what these imbalances are all about, man, coming through. Wow, still Goldman Sachs, still the banks, nice, nice on them today. The SPY is hovering around that 400, obviously, as the S&P nears 4,000 as well. Microsoft, let's just check back on Microsoft on that Dan Nile comment there about how I guess his firm is short now on Microsoft. I feel like that hasn't moved since that report, because I wasn't really in it. That might have been that move down there, now back up to the upside. And again, remember, it's all about preparation into these earnings. We're going to have a big earnings. It's big for tomorrow. It more just kicks off tomorrow afternoon when we get some of those big boys in the big cap tech space. But if you are interested, there's General Electric. I think there's UPS tonight as well. So some industrial names going off tonight in the market. We're still on SIGA, but remember, we did get out right there out of half of what we had left. We talked about that when we did it. I thought, okay, for some reason, oh, it's because I had an offer out. That's why. Okay. So we were going to use 15. Actually, no, it didn't break yet. We were using this level here. 1550 was the area that we were concerned with, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a slide down from there, like we said. So actually, it didn't trigger my stop yet, which was right here, breaking back down through 35. It was this top right there. So it's 30 is the out. So as I look there, it has to break back down below that 30 level before we get out, and then we will turn our day into a -1 on SIGA if that does happen. Right now it's fine, but again, out, and then you can't go long at 16 with your best out being 33s and make money if you get out 70 cents lower from that. So it'll be a loser, but again, I think it's worth holding on to. I'm just
market's bouncing
really
nicely.
Yeah, man. And look at this. Look at AMD now, right back to these levels again. So I'm just going to let it break through 30, man. We have a 50-cent winner on. We basically just gave this trade out. We gave this level of 70 that I said. I was mad that we missed it there. We FOMO'd a little bit there. We more than tripled our position up there because we didn't. Remember I said to you I wasn't going hard right there, but we did like it. Then it came back down, boomed it to the upside, and now we're trying to take some profit. So yeah, so far so good here on AMD. As we only have 4 minutes left, wondering what it is. Oh, there it is. Brendan put it 15 minutes ago. I don't know if we mentioned it.
No.
400 million to sell, and here's what we're talking about. It's your market on close and balance locator. That these are not all active because these are of 9:30, but at 3:50, which is in 4 minutes, you're going to get an updated run here. So then we'll see if these stocks can go anywhere. I'm just really hoping. The only position I have on of any real note is going to be AMD. My Apple trade is already out at 153 if that takes that out, but that's well away now. We're letting that one ride. And then SIGA is not really going to care anything about the imbalances, I wouldn't think, unless for some reason there's a monster bid that comes through on SIGA, which I don't think so, but it could be.
You know what? It's
the market
not
on close
impossible.
isn't, because it's a good liquidity event. So if you were a SIGA trader with a couple million shares or something, maybe you do put it into the close and just hope that you get that market imbalance leveling off so you don't have the market impact of such a big order. That's the purpose of those closing orders.
That's the key with them there. And I'll just sort of continue with the pattern of trimming into 350. I got some BABA out there. It just can't seem to break 50s, like 150. So as it bounces back higher, I'm going to trail this at 90s just to make sure we don't have this going all the way to 101. I can play the 101 quarter maybe tomorrow, and the same thing with Micron. AMC, I'm just going to get on the offer at 95 or something because the stock doesn't want to bounce. You're just sitting here all afternoon. Why did I type NASDAQ? I know that's on the New York. That's actually crazy. And then that's just going to happen. Because the stupid NF things, I just hit enter too fast.
There's meta news.
This is a bounce. It barely bounced off these 80s. I'm just going to get on the offer and get in the 90s and just take this one out because we're running out of time. But you said there's news on Meta?
Yeah, it's just a Meta weighing to buy an eye-tracking glasses startup. So, that just makes a lot. I have Meta on here now. It's just a rocket ship up, but I said that would happen. I don't think this has nothing to do with news. That news literally just came out. But whoa, what am I doing here? I'm on the wrong things. Okay, I don't even know how do I, let me see. How do I delete that? It was a right click. We'll forget about Polygon, whatever. I'll delete it after. Polygon, that was pretty cool. It said that. We've already identified that Meta is the name that we wanted if the market was to go back to the upside. The thing is, it didn't take out this 166.20 level. That was really the level that I wanted. If we were to look at this, I'm long right now into AMD, so that's all good. If there was a name to look at, it would have been that Meta at that level, of course. So just to have a quick look. If it takes that out, fine, but I'm not going to do it with 10 minutes left. But that is a level that I would have looked at, let alone that 50-period break, looking pretty good there. What about the take of that bottom of 165? The minute it took that back to the upside, that could have been along as well. So Meta definitely had a lot of opportunities here into the close with only a minute and a half left before imbalances. You know what? The banger of the century, and that's a joke. Look at Snapchat here this afternoon. It's just like, whatever, man. It's trying to figure out some of those snaps themselves because this stock really not doing anything right here into the afternoon, which is why you haven't even seen me talk about it. We're in the money 10 cents, and it's just like, whatever, bro. Let's just move off of that one right now because not doing a damn thing. As Sega bouncing, AMD going, and then Apple. Maybe I'll just get out of Apple in case this is a buy imbalance. What did Brendan say it was? A sell. What's up, Brendo?
350 now to sell. Biden just saying, guys, on that virtual chips meeting, whatever you want to call it, he wants to sign the chips bill as soon as possible. So if they can get it to his desk, consider it signed.
I have a trail on Micron where I just probably punch out of it right now, to be honest with you. But my trails, it breaks any higher, we'll get it. But the imbalances are coming out in 30 seconds. Look, we'll see what actually happens if they even get it to him. Like it's nice for him to say that.
that's not going to affect the market
But
now.
they have to get it on his desk. We'll have the imbalances coming in about 30 seconds or so. If you're sort of tracking a couple of those names, we've kind of been focused on Sega, and I understand that there's a couple others that have been moving, TNXP, but that pullback off 190 still has that same double top that we're looking at a little bit earlier. So you're seeing basically the same thing across the space. Like they're giving up these highs at least a little bit. Strong trends to the upside for Sega, TNXP, GovX. It was another one. Codex wasn't quite as strong, so maybe worth an ignore. But actually, even GovX, not quite as strong as some of the other ones pulling back in, but all above VWAP, holding out and still have a chance for like maybe a day two play. So we can come back and look at some of these for tomorrow. But spike to the upside on that. So by on that, I mean that little headline there. Like even Micron just sort of came back up to that 60 level. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to play out that 60 tomorrow, but that might be coming and going quickly. Where are the imbalances there?
So I got out a little bit of AMD ahead of the imbalances in case we were wrong. So we did get a 26, but now it's going back up to the upside. So we'll be red on MU today. We'll be green on AMD. But again, was expecting a little bit of a bigger move for us today, I feel like anyways. But I'll take this. Yeah, let's go, baby. Here we go. Like we're doing it again for you live on the air. So we'll go, Mamma Mia, because here we go. We're waiting at 49. I mean, why am I even waiting at 49? Let's take a piece out right now. That's a good move to the upside here. Oh, did I missed that. I just hit offer enter at 43. Hopefully it can rip up and give us that now. Go one more penny upside. Oh, go break it. Yes, there it is. Breaking through 43s to give us a 70-cent winner right now. That was a good idea on AMD, and I said that would be a day maker for me, and there it is. We are now done as we just wait for Sega to go, and there it goes. Come on, AMD. This is a good ripper for us to end the day. Obviously, Apple, we were waiting on this name as well. We could have got some out. Remember I said we had 8 times the shares on AMD that we did on Apple, so we'll let this one cruise out, but really happy, man, for that move here. Yeah, AMD, let's go, baby. A nice move back up to the upside there. I'm just going to get out of Snap if I can. Sega's not doing anything. I'd hate to get out of it and then it pops back up, but as you can see here, it's just having a real hard time even getting back into these 80s or 90s. So I feel like we can have a positive day on this if this does come back up here to about 90. So let's just get that out. If there's a big move that comes at the end of the day, then whatever. We'll look at this tomorrow. We tried to get Sega to go long. But remember, Neil and I, this is part of the talk about being on a prop floor, is we don't have the ability to hold it after 4 p.m. So I'm going to get out of Sega now. I still think there could be a late move after market. It still really hasn't broken any of the range here, especially if you look at a 20-minute. I mean, you're still all the way up here. I'd rather it be down here before I would really panic. But again, into the close, not much choice here. I'm going to sit a little high side on that one and see if we're lucky enough to get out at 9, like somewhere around 90. Call it a day on Sega, but it's just not really pumping anywhere here.
Yeah, with the market bouncing, it's worth noting. Like it was mostly to the sell side. Pins was 2.5 to sell on the imbalances. Google was 1.4 million. CCL 1.3 to sell. BAC, WFC, both over 1 million shares to sell there. So for the most part, they were selling balances. But hey, the second that news came out on the chips, they bounced higher. That's why we said I had a trail on Micron. That got me out. I got bailed out on AMC. That actually popped into the 90s, so I could take a smaller hit than I was going to take on my 15 long. But I was going to get out at this time regardless. It just so happened to. And then Alibaba, we're also going to put the trail. So the market with a nice little bounce, and you got to get out of your shorts when that happens. I tightened the stop up so that we wouldn't actually lose all the way back up to 101.10. But end of the day, certainly a welcome sight to see a bit of a bid caught, because the NASDAQ has been overall weak. Not that bad. We actually able to hold up. If you go back into last week, some of the higher lows that got put in were still able to be held in. The ES showing a little bit more strength with a slight bounce off some of these lows. So you have some support levels that are going to be in play tomorrow to be sure. And then of course the chips all rallying late is going to be another thing that we can have. And then I'll be taking a look at some sundial thanks to all of you guys. So I'll blame nobody if I lose money on sundial tomorrow. I would have looked at this anyways. And Dan McIsaac actually had a great question that I don't know the answer to.
What is
He was
it?
asking how long after a reverse split will the options come back and be eligible. So I'm actually not sure what the answer to that question is, but I'll try and find some reading on the train today and see if I can get you an answer tomorrow morning there, Dan. Brendan, some earnings to get to for tomorrow.
Yeah, just a few. It's kind of a busy week if you hadn't heard. Here is what is on tap for tomorrow. The big fun gets started Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, we talked actually Coke for tomorrow. The exciting ones come when the tech names come through. We had a lot of questions about Coke, which we were saying, I think, sort of concerned that they could actually have a bit of the IBM treatment, where it's like if you held up so well and you've been one of the relatively few stocks that have shown you a good trend and been a good hedge against this market this year, that when you come into earnings, people are going to use it as an opportunity to sell a little bit here. So I can see that happening with Coke, even though certainly a solid name. I can't really say anything bad about them. Good barometer for the market as well, at least in terms of consumer demand.
Yeah, I'm going to look at GM. I think that's going to be an interesting name for me tomorrow for sure. And then that's pretty much it. I'll be looking at the same names tomorrow as we go. Because if you just look again, we don't, I do this all the time. I talk about the names I'm positive on versus the names I'm negative on. But again, another good day for us, man. Up on Apple, up on AMC, up on AMD, up on Microsoft, down on Sneezga on that one. And, but so far so good. Down on Meta today and then down on Roblox. We talked about that. So it's going to be a positive day for us. We are going to finish the day in the green. So we'll put it down, not the market green, although it's trying to go green, but your boy's net is green today. So everything that you've seen on the show today puts me into the green spot. So hopefully some of those trades you guys are able to follow. And one more green day for us. I think putting the month at 2 red days, which has been pretty good for me this month. Now, I am debating right now not debating. There's only 4 minutes left. I got to get out. So unfortunately, Sega right now isn't going to give me that. So we'll get some 62s out if we can. Apple right here on the downside as well. It's at 70. Let's just push bid there, get out there. We got out at 73 on Apple, still for a 70-cent winner, so that's all good. Sega just takes out 62s there, so we take a hit on Sega, so that cannon didn't work out. That's going to be a red name for us, but cup of coffee down on Sega, cup of coffee down on Snapchat, big time down, not big time down on Meta, but down on Meta, and all the other ones are nicely done to the upside, including, which was going to cap it off here with a big trade right now, as you guys can clearly see. Part of the reason why we are green today, because if AMD had gone the other way, then we would also be red today. So downside goes AMD here. We'll see what happens. Yeah, sorry, downside. Upside goes AMD today, up to 87.55. So I'm going to wait on that, see if we get a little bit of a bigger bump here into the close. But this is going to be a good trade for us. $1 now in the money on AMD. This was really the one that, I told you guys about it, that we were putting on some shares, and this would be the one that really hit us. So hopefully you guys are able to take this. It's a nice trade there for AMD. We'll look to add to it tomorrow. XOM back to $90 as well.
Yeah, we get them and Chevron end of the week. I think Friday, I want to say, we get the energy earnings there. If you look at Soxel on that news, actually making it not to the high of the day, because I guess in the pre-market it was a little bit higher, but to the high since the open at least. So right up at those tops, the market's showing some signs of getting back into the upside, which is certainly a good thing there. There was another name that we sort of forgot about that I did want to jump to here, because we didn't talk much about crypto. in the afternoon, or even in the morning, I want to say, but not really catching a bounce with the rest of the market. Coinbase down 5.5%. You did see Bitcoin right back down below 22,000. Ether had a bit of a pullback as well, and they're closing closer to their low. So the NASDAQ just bounced. When I look for what didn't just bounce, and certainly all the crypto-related names did not make a bounce, but that makes sense. If it was the chips that just dragged us to the upside off the lows, then it would make sense that that didn't actually affect any of the crypto names in there, which are all going to close at their lows. Didn't make a single execution on one of these, but certainly going to be worth looking at some Coinbase tomorrow, especially if we're still holding below that 70 level.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah, Coinbase 70. Wow, I remember when that name was like 30, 40, 50 bucks. Biden says, as of 27, okay, he's really talking right now. So Biden says we're not going into a recession in his view. Thanks for that, Joe. He also is expecting that he will speak with President Xi this week for China. My guess is that won't go well for Biden. Biden says he's feeling better every day. He does have, however, a bit of a sore throat. So he hopes to be back to work by the end of this week. So taxpayers, Joe Biden's back for you by the end of this week. So the savior has returned. And I don't know what else he's going to say here, but hey, hopefully health is the main concern, and it looks like he's back on that track, so that's good. And by the way, there's Snapchat. We were able to get, I took a 95 half print there, just crossing out, taking that fill to add another one to the board today. So you guys all know what's good. Thank you for watching us. With only a few minutes left, we can go off. Oh, AMD, we got out there, same level, $45, cents on that one, as we only do have 30 seconds to go. It's my man, it's the myth, it's the legend on the bell now.
He's a man of his word. So Fahad,
damn right he is.
He lost the bet. He's gonna man up, and he's gonna step in front of the bell. He's got the pigtails on, or ponytails or pigtails, I guess it is.
Hit the like button.
Camera
Hit
on
the like button.
Hit the like. Hit the subscribe for this man. There he is. You can't see his face, but he's got the pigtails. Fahad, you're the man. Ring it in 4, 3, 2, and.
Now that is a quality bell ring right there.
Not too loud.
So, shout out to Fahad ringing the bell there. So that was really fun to do that. So thank you to Fahad for that one. But yeah, look, exciting day, man. It's about to get a lot more exciting if you do have any of these shares in reporting companies. But how did we wind up, Brennan? It seems like the NASDAQ and the market, and I don't want to tease this, but I feel like the S&P may have done something there at the close.
Yeah, I was waiting for one final update here, guys, but I'll get you this one maybe. It'll be a little bit better. We did get a nice little push there into the close. So yeah, my board's actually not completely updated, but I'll show you this one instead. 0.13 there for the S&P 500, 0.28 for the Dow, 0.18 for the Russell. But look at the 2000. I was mentioning all day, 0.3 for the Russell 2000, showing strength all day. NASDAQ Composite 100, the laggards today, 0.5%, 0.43 there for both to the downside. So as it started, it ends pretty mixed.
Yep, and that's something we talked about in the midday. You guys talked about it as well, the divergence between like the ES and the NASDAQ the last little bit. And you get some of that today, like holding support in the ES, but not on the NASDAQ. Oh, you got the clip. We got to show this again.
I mean, I'd say, yeah, come over to my screen here, Fahad, because here's Fahad. You know, he's doing, let's just for anybody that hasn't seen my, there's Fahad, there's the stretching. I made sure we don't have the face. There is no face here coming through. This is like his very first ball. There he is. See, push-ups, true athlete. He's lining it up. He's got, see that little lineup. There are little lines here that you can see that I pointed out to him afterwards right down there. And here we go. So notice, no, not even using the finger holes there. The problem is you almost saw his face there. And I'm like, that was rough right there. So shout out to Fahad on that one. What I wanted to get at was, Neil, I tried to tell the man that there are those finger holes, a part of my French there, for those, that you can simply get a grip on the ball. But the man was like, no, I'm just barehanding this thing and basically just whipping it down there. But the problem is,
conviction.
This is where I think Fahad can do really well. Like the spin that he could get on that ball. Like if he could time it properly, Lucas is a dead man. I promise you that. Because Lucas does not have the intestinal fortitude to beat my man.
The intestinal fortitude.
Yes, because he's going to, you see what he's going to do. This guy's going to be all about bowling. And I say that, hey, right now it's July. How about we do a rematch? How about we go again in December, right? We'll go again in December. We will have a rematch, and then we'll see what's good. Okay, I would offer, I remember I already said I hadn't bowled in 10 years, truth, that I would go on a team with somebody, but I think that's probably gone now.
But there's no fair
now
team.
People realize.
You're like, I haven't bowled in 10 years. I was trying to figure out the last time I bowled. I'm pretty sure I went in like my senior year of high school. I'm like 99% sure I did go to Crystal Bowl when I was in high school last time. And I love that place. I went to check to see if it was still there. I don't think it is.
Nah,
but yeah, well, like Fahad, full credit to him. And I actually would say this, Fahad, to his credit, is a good coordinated athlete, man. Like, I'm sure he's fantastic.
Well, we are taking his word for that,
but
again.
I don't know, man. Like, the way he was sort of able to, like, manipulating like that without putting the holes in, like, I think he's actually got something there. It's crazy to not use the finger holes, but I think if he practiced, he probably would take a shot, because as much as I backed Lucas and he came through for me, I mean, I suck and I beat him. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to leave it at that as well.
Like,
Thank you to
Lucas
Dr.
wasn't-
Yeah, thank you to Dr. Dan. Sean can do any game commentary. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, ESPN, if you're watching, you know, I could do something on the halftime, something like that. I mean, I'm going to be dedicated to Trader TV Live, but I do not have an exclusivity contract. So, you know, I could do something moonlighting for ESPN or TSN. The Ocho, why not Dodgeball? That's a great movie. ESPN Ocho, we can talk about Dodgeball.
If we play Dodgeball, it's going to be murderous.
Dodgeball, that's what we should do, Maggie. We should do Dodgeball. Then
We
Lucas,
used to have
bang, bang.
Our trading floor, this way back in the day when we were a
we
little
won.
bit
I
younger.
have that shirt
like
still.
we were our floor was in intramurals for Toronto, and we just murdered people because like there's people that take dodgeball for fun.
Yeah,
we
we're-
weren't that team.
No.
Like we were the team that was like, no, you guys are you're dead. And we won like
Our
the
team
championship.
now, we could have Justin on there. Look, he's
Yeah, we
putting it in here.
crush.
If you could dodge
Let's
a
go.
wrench, you could dodge a ball. That's
Let's go.
exactly right. I'll just throw them at Justin, and then, you know, he'll dodge them. I think that would be over. Brendan should be able to play dodgeball. Fahad, me, you. We could use Lucas as the dummy that we practice against, like Fahad just mentioned there. So we could do a lot of things, man. Sharif over there could like, bench press the other team.
Yep.
Arun could be in the building. Man, we might have a
have a good
dangerous
team, man.
We would have a dangerous dodgeball team. Maggie could probably play as well. This should be really exciting, Brendan. What say you?
Yes. Sold.
Okay, sold.
do it.
Okay, so let's get on top of that one.
There we
All
go.
right.
Hi.
Hi, hey, what's up?
No, he just threw me in.
Oh, I just threw you on. Okay. All right, so let's wrap this thing up. NXPI earnings, I guess, out now.
It's not that exciting.
No, it's not. Nothing happening. Okay, because I was just looking for the chip names there in case that was moving anything around there. But hey, join us tomorrow. We got to wrap this thing up. It's AMC. It's your trade of the day for everybody at Trader TV Live. I think we just pretty much ran down everybody again. Anyways, Katrine, Fahad, Lucas, Neil, Brendan, Maggie's right there. Rob, Mark. The midday guys, Ian, no, not Ian,
Bradley.
Lucas, Prad, everybody, thank you for watching. We're going to be back tomorrow. It's a big week of earnings, so make sure you stay tuned. Back tomorrow at 8:30. Sleep well, do your research, and we'll see you in the morning. Ciao, guys.